Dude, okay, I was talking this whole time. I had my, my stuff muted. Whoops. That's fixed. It isn't ever an allergy jelly stream without this level of bullshit. But I need to open this up. I need to make something very clear. Alright? Alright, I called it. Right? And this is part 1 of this message, right? I called it, but this is only part 1. Because part 2... Wait, my mic quality is bad? Oh my goodness, I think it's hold on. Yep, it's my laptop.
Even though I had my nice mic plugged in. So I love OBS sometimes. I love how sometimes it just decides to default to my very crappy built-in mic from my laptop, even though I have my nice mic plugged in. So let's... Who's a gnome that lives in a shoe? Allergy jelly. That's true. So, I feel like we need to, as a reminder of my prophecy, we need to just kind of have this in the corner. We're just gonna put that there. And, I don't think that's too intrusive. If I go back to my old laptop mic, you'll give me $20. Is that what the people want? Will I get a $20 super chat if I do that? Yeah, okay, the person who I DM'd this to is in chat. I cut out their messages because I didn't have their consent. So, you just get that. So... Oh yeah, she called that that he would have long hair. So, prophecy in its own right. If I'm being honest, I'm only here for the streamer's luck. I'm here for the streamer's luck, okay? Because no, I don't care. I need, all right? As I said, I'd lose gallons. So, this is gonna be a gambling stream. He is my sweet summer child. All right, we are in the golden age of Merceau identities. All right, and I think we had to sacrifice Heathcliff to get there, but I don't care. I don't care. So, I've got 3 tickets left over from. I'm just gonna say this. My polls on the Arknights banner were abysmal. I did around 260 in total in order to get all 3. And that is a very sad amount of polls. As a straight man, I also lost gallons to Merceau. We know what's up here. We understand what needs to be done. Streamer's luck be with me. Streamer's luck be with me. Please, 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 please. Ah! This is... You know what? I'm gonna call this right now. I don't know how many of you watch the Absolute Pride Resonance streams, but if you did, you might know what I'm about to reference. I gave Welveter $100 to gamble for Shichun Ishmael, and he did over like almost, either he did 200 pulls or he did slightly over 200 pulls before getting her. I know it was at the very least 200, and he started blaming me on stream. And this is gonna be karma. I'm not gonna get Merceau, that's gonna be karma. Oh? Alright. Alright, how much you wanna bet? This is gonna be a pity break. Or not pity break, because there isn't pity in this game. Yes! Wow! Yes, yes! 20 pulls! That is one, not 1/10, it is more or less or whatever than 1/10 of what it took for me to get all the Arknights ego. We win! I'm sorry, I needed this. Alright. I mean, I do have one more. I can summon, you know, just in case we get Heathcliff. Cause like, I wouldn't say no. Yeah, I'll use the ticket. Oh? Aww. I was about to say that streamer's luck worked. Well, let's start the event. Oh wait. Let's uptime. This was my story team for the Arknights, so. Let's take a look at our boy. I'm gonna lose gallons. So I guess something I also want to mention. I don't stream myself playing Limbus, really, outside of like terrible mirror dungeons. I don't stream myself playing it because of the simple fact that I want to experience the game on my own. Like, I want to play the game at my own pace, read the story at my own pace, not have anything spoiled or be influenced in any way. But I'm making an exception this one time because I've been looking for an excuse to try streaming again. And also, it's an event rerun. And I don't mind if it's an event rerun because I've already played this story. Anyways, what, do I like do a Mirso impression for this? I can't. I have a very girly voice. And he is a buff Frenchman. I guess I can try. I just have to do it like deadpan. So. Gotta get the pipes ready for this. Sometimes I dream. I dream of the burning confessional. Of the kindred's dismembered bodies and the crumbling rides at the amusement park. I'm sorry, Gregor soloed. There he is! I love baby Honkle gaming. I want Gregor to fire fist me. In the warped train, straight up fire fist in it. And by it, well, let's just say, my Merkult. Oh my goodness, hold up. Someone in chat is saying that Harold says hi. Maybe you guys will get some lore. We gotta read the lore first. Die, filthy, disgusting beast! Look, I brought water! You need water to put out the fire burning your home to the ground, don't you? Too bad you're too scared to go anywhere near your own salvation. Raiders yell at the top of their lungs as they trample our land. Don't say they! We know it's all Gregor! We know it's literally all Gregor doing it. He's fire fisting it. No, I don't think it's a Fang Hunter, because look at this. Alright? If Fang Hunt was here, I think that they would put Fang Hunt in the background, alright? If Hong Lu was here, we would see Hong Lu. Oh yeah, $10 from Puppy Girl 33. Smile Fist offered. I cannot speak. Smile Fist Office Gregor just hugged all the La Happy Land giggle fiends. So yeah. Anyways, I don't think that's a Fang Hunt member. I think that's literally my brother just texted me in all caps. Oh my god, it's the Glagoland massacre. I'm glad to know he's watching. We wanted to live too! Do you have even an inkling of the suffering we've endured day after day while your kind blissfully frolicked across La Mancha land? family protests, their voices trembling with fear. The Giggle Fiends! It's the Glagoland Massacre. It's all great. I feel like we all need to remember that this all happened in this timeline. In this timeline, the only reason why literally all of them were killed by one dude is because they just killed one chick. We don't even know who she is. We don't know what her name is. We just know that she was like the big sister of the office. I don't even think that she's Gregor's actual sister. I mean, we know he has a sister. I've read the book. He's mentioned it in Limbus. But some beg for their lives, too. Today's the day I finally reduced this damned place to a pile of ashes. Oh, wait, no, were you guys right? Oh, I can't see the titles, but I think that the previous ones, it wasn't 100. Guys, he didn't solo. I'm sorry we had to learn this way. Big sis, rest easy now. I'll get you that proffer. My God, I can't even try to voice act because I'm so dyslexic that I'll just choke on my words. Like, whenever I'm reading voices for anything, I can't even do, like, A, B, C takes. I have to do, like, D and E takes because I will fuck up. I always do. I'll get you that proper office building you always dreamed of. But my family never would. Alright, that's not my fault. That's not my fault. Alright? I'm gonna put up my hands and I'm gonna say that is not my fault. That is a typo. Or a mistranslation. And that fucked me up. Alright? I can't go into like this whole speech about how I'm really bad at reading text on like a first go. And then the game immediately has an actual typo. Like it's after me. Purposefully trying to get under my skin. Camille and Zwei Girl helped. Her name is Paula, thank you. Camille and Paula. Am I the only one who remembers these things? But my family never survived this dream. They just failed to... okay, that one's right English. I'm gonna kill myself. This is why I don't read. Just as they failed to in the waking world. 131 rounds of expeditions. 79 attempts at arson. 21 attempts at hosing us down. 3 volleys of trebuchet strikes. Oh my God. I'm choking. I can't. It's trebuchet. I know words. 17 total counts of sniper shots and assassination attempts, and 10 all-out battles. 671 kindreds killed, 3,449 blood bags burned. Visions of this dream were as precise as the clarity of my memory. I recall them with the same vividness of that day, recalling the varied ways in which they were killed and the accompanying cries that became their last words. And I do nothing but witness it all from the parade's vanguard. You read trebuchet as tray bucket. I'm sorry for your loss. For the first time, the parade comes to a stop, and my vantage point presents me with a vision of a massacre inflamed by my mania, which is reminiscent of the crowd of humans who once happily cheered at our parade. So, standing still like a stone, I observe them. Who the fuck? Who? Alright, chat. People who actually read Don Quixote, is this a character in Don Quixote? It is one of the few books I haven't gotten around to. Is this an actual character from the book? Or is it just who? Who is this guy? Wait. mom in French? Wait, is that mom in French? What? Why is everyone saying mom? Who is this? His mom didn't have a name in the book. I've read the book. Okay, yes, it's the French word for mom. Okay, all right, mother is here. Okay. my brother just texted me. It's mom in French, I just looked. It's what he regards as mother in more authentic translations of the book. I guess I didn't read an authentic translation then. It's more affectionate than just mother. That's really interesting, actually, that he would refer to his mother with a term like that. I don't know, I feel like then when translating it, wouldn't they change it to like mom or something? Because that's more affectionate than mother. I don't know. But mother died yesterday. Or maybe it was right this second, I'm not quite sure. Marisol mom reveal. I guess we've been waiting for this. Marisol, listen to me. The dream is nearing its end. At this moment, with mere minutes separating this dream and the waking world, Maman always grabs me by my shoulders and calls my name. Wait. No, that makes it worse. Does that mean his first name is Mirceau in this world? I have read the book. Mirceau is the family name. He doesn't have a first name. So I guess they just changed that. It's better than what they did with Sinclair, where, like, they stated his full name was Emile Sinclair, and his dad called him Emile. But then when his dad was being killed by Cromer, and he was, like, crying out for Sinclair to get away, he said Sinclair, not Emile. And that kind of threw me off, because I was like, why would you say his last name? He's your son. Yeah, there was, like, a translation that just gave him a first name, and they called him Arthur, and that was his first name. His first name is Stranger. No, his first name is The. His middle name is Stranger. The Stranger Marceau. Get it right. So I guess his name is Marceau. But I do not answer her. Because there is no Marceau in the procession. As that is the rule as written, I follow it. Can we do Canto 3? You just want me to do Canto 3 so you can listen to me rant about Demian, as I have like 3 times now. In moments like this, I begin to wonder how I understand so little of my own child. What? Hi, Rodian. Hi, Russian lady. What's a good Rhodian voice? I can't do a Russian accent. I don't know. She's probably got like a sultry voice. I'm not good at doing sultry voices, but I can try. Oh, noble prince. Have you aught to say, princess? We now stand upon the last vestiges of our kingdom. Those who are green with envy have looted and plundered our land bare. You are the first prince. Its fate now lies solely in your hands. Thus, are you suggesting that I can't fucking speak? Are you suggesting that I flee, princess? What other recourse have I I'm gonna kill myself. I cannot read. All right? What other recourse have I to suggest? A royal prince must rightly stand his ground, no matter what is to come. He shall fight to the bitter end. Thanks, Lehung Gaming. I like how we're just getting the Mirceau's mom apparition. This is how the reveal comes in. I see. If that's your rule, then I suppose no words, regardless of its speaker, would sway you from here. Allow me to rephrase that, noble prince. You are aware of the rule that this march must never stop, correct? Indeed, for this is the endlessly, eternally blessed carnival. My prince, you are the vanguard of the procession. Should you stop, you will reave it of its eternity. Thus, I implore you to march on, dear prince. March over the ruins of this kingdom. Go forward, found a new kingdom, reborn and rewritten by your hands. You mean... Lamau, in this universe, just Firefist Krager kills everyone, so Rodian's like, nah bro, shit, run away. Oh, shit, Demian wants me to draw him a sheep? Okay, wait. No, I can't say no to Demian. Alright. Let me, Is it not gonna work? Come on. I'll turn the Limbus capture back on. Can I not just pull up a tab of MS Paint? Is that too much for you, OBS? Dude, wait, did it fucking broke the Limbus capturing too. Are you serious right now? Okay, fix that. Can you capture MS Paint, dude? I gotta draw this sheet. Alright, I need to pad out this stream somehow, else we'll be done in an hour. Girl, what's wrong with your computer? Okay, listen. I fixed my computer. Some of you may remember from my previous streams that my computer was having issues. So, I actually sent it to the shop because it did, like, have issues. And so I sent it to the shop and got it fixed. What the fuck? Hold on. Dude, I hate this. Come on. Yoo-hoo! MS Paint! Yoo-hoo! Watch out, it might crash again. No, I fixed that. I fixed that. I sent it to the shop. The laptop is fixed. Had to wait like 2 weeks, and that's why there's still no video, so. I just realized that because I ended up switching what layer the game capture was on, it put me in those. I'd lose gallons. I mean, we can see Limbus again, right? I'm not losing it, right? There aren't evil gnomes in my computer. I am the evil gnome. Can I just not open up MS Paint? Is OBS gonna throw a hissy fit? Dude, I wanted to do like a funny bit where I drew like a really shitty sheep in MS Paint and I gave it like a really detailed face. But I guess I'm not allowed to be funny. I guess that's my fault for remembering that I'm not allowed to be funny. Come on. Oh, yes! I got it, I got it! Can't Can't you just save it to PNG? But then you guys can't watch me do it. All right? We'll just pop this in real quick. All right? We'll draw its head. It's a fluffy little body. Give it some happy little legs. A little tail. Little big ol' ears. And, more fluff. No, for good measure. Buy my commissions, by the way. And let's take a look at this. Yeah, let's get this La Mancha Land burning ASMR in the background. But let me just this won't take long. I promise, Demian. I'm drawing you your sheep. I'm doing this for you, Demian. No, that's too big of a pupil. Thanks, I'll take my time indeed, man. Shit, I gotta draw the other eye now. I just came back to stream, and how is it from Cassetti to an electric sheep? Do you dream of them? Are we dreaming of these electric sheep right now? Buy my commissions. This is how I plug my commissions in the stream. I want to remind you guys, Demian asked Dante to draw a sheep like 2 years ago, and they still haven't done it. Demian asked me to draw a sheep, and within like 2 minutes, I'm almost done. And it's a beautiful sheep indeed. Do I dream of them? Yeah, I dream about it all the time. I always dream of these electric sheep. Because I'm a robot, and I'm an AI voice. Women don't exist. Dante has some other shit going on? You think I don't? Alright, I live a life outside of this. And I still find my 2 minutes to draw Demian the sheep he asked for. Alright, and isn't it so happy and joyous looking? And, hold on, just need to curl that lip a little. And, maybe gotta make that wrinkle a bit bigger. That seems good. Yeah. I think we drew ourselves a lovely sheep here. Why does it look like Virgilius? Oh wait, I forgot a wrinkle here. I forgot that little wrinkle. Alright, now it's done. So, there's your sheep. I hope you're happy. Oh, wait. I forgot, like, the folds in its ears. Guys, I'm such a good artist. I mean, look at this. Give it a little chin. Alright. minimize this tab, so if ever we need to, like, hype ourselves up, we can just kind of pull up the sheep again. And I am going to hide that tab in OBS so that we can go back to reading this. We've been here for a while now, and we still haven't even started the event. We're still reading Merceau's story. Just pulled W. Heathcliff while watching the stream. Thanks for the luck, of course. It wasn't me that did it. It was the sheep. The sheep gave you that luck. Where were we? Become king, my prince. If that is your will, princess, the fairest and wisest of the kingdom, then that was the new rule bestowed upon me. When the request behind a rule is reasonable, I carried it out. No more, no less. Live. I turn away from the lingering whisper of Maman's last words. I feel the pressure of the Bloodfiend hierarchy, the very essence of which has infused my blood, intensify a degree higher. Fucking Squire, is this Sasha? Is Sasha here again? Apparently I'm giving everyone, like, really good polls right now, so maybe we just need to always watch my streams. Then I wake. Report. Yeah, it is Sasha, okay. We have marched to the halfway point of the economy class section, as per your majesty's command. The procession's end is near, so is the time for your majesty to join at its rear. As Maman had commanded me, I fled La Manchaland to build my own kingdom. How many new blood bags have we gained? A total of 6 today, and not one more. I have relayed that no more than that is to be made, as per your majesty's decree. And as the time for you to create a new kindred is nigh, I have set aside a few prospective passengers who may receive that honor. He's got so much aura, bro. Well done. I commend your efforts. Commend? Oh my god. I can't read. Anything for the kingdom and the family's prosperity. It was rather convenient how the rules perfectly dovetailed with instinct. The moment Maman ceased to exist, my very instincts alerted to my ascension in the hierarchy. And with it, a sudden pressure sliced through me, the inescapable responsibility to propagate the family, as I had no children of my own. Indeed, I required a place where propagation of the family was guaranteed, a furtive place that could hide our growth from foreign forces, making it a most reasonable decision to hide myself within the warp train to escape P-Corp. No other place has so perfectly met the needs of my purpose, and none shall ever again. Please, please don't kill me! Don't! Ah! The squire leads me to a room with a passenger who is terrified out of his mind. No, I gave that super girly, scared voice to a man? Oh no! No! Yeah, he is a mama's boy. Mama died yesterday, or maybe it was today. $10 from Geppetta to chart about the image I just sent you. What's the image you just sent me? Where is this from? Did you make this? Who? I need to give credit. Where is this from? Where is this image from? All right, you people were asking me at the start here. You were all saying, this isn't the Tron video. You made this? This is perfect. Thank you, Geppetta. All right, y'all were all saying that this isn't the Tron video. Well, who's laughing now? Oh shoot, I lost it. Hold on. No, I moved it so far down that I lost it. Hold on. Guys, none of you are ever gonna ask me for the Tron video again. All right, because it's right here. featuring 9 Inch Nails. I like the implication. I like the implication that Ares is Mirso. In this mirror world, I do think Ares would be Mirso, but at the same time, I don't want Mirso to be played by oh shoot, why did I forget his name all of a sudden? The damaged Joker guy. What's his face? Jared Leto. I don't want Mirso to be played by Jared Leto. All right. I'm gonna move this up so that you can actually see who's talking in the game. This guy, I need to get the serious voice up again. This is serious voice acting, guys. All right, I'm a serious voice actor. The squire leads me to a room with a passenger who is terrified out of his mind. Terrified as he may be, and despite the considerable amount of time this train must have spent in stasis, there is a spark of life within him, desperately clawing to prolong its existence, and that makes him a prime candidate to join my family. You need not be afraid, for I too was once human. However, considering the city's standards of what constitutes a human and what does not, I still belong in the former category. Therefore, upon adjusting the distinction to before Bloodfiend characteristics became apparent and after, but to me, the human existence and the princely existence were indistinguishable from one another. Thus, the same shall be true to thee. Wait, what does that even mean? That doesn't make any sense! I do not wait for him to finish his reply and sink my teeth into his jugular. Killing my throat here. Warm blood spreads to every corner of my body. Some may say that subjects of the king deserve to be heard, but that would be inefficient. He writes mother on his forehead! I was given but 2 rules. 1, the march must never end. 2, I must raise my kingdom. And no more. Well, that was a cool story, guys. How long did that take us to get through? That took nearly 40 minutes. It took us 40 minutes to read one story. I need to drink some water after that. I think, okay, usually in Limbus Company, Walpurgisnacht does line up with the real Walpurgisnacht, but not always. So it might not be coming this Walpurgisnacht, but next Walpurgisnacht. Or it might just be coming at a random fuck off time because Arknight screwed us all up. I don't know. And then Linkin Park started playing. And in this mirror world, it was composed by Linkin Park, not by 9 Inch Nails. Glad I didn't miss much from what it sounds like. No, you missed so much. Here, let me give you a sample of what you missed. You missed this. That's what you missed. So I think you did miss much, actually. But let's get rid of that again. Probably in January. I don't think it'll be in January. I think it might be a little sooner than that. I feel like they might just like not actually have it line up due to the simple fact that we really got screwed up by the Arknights. Anyways, maybe instead of like making a full-fledged Tron video, because for the people who don't know, I was gonna make a Tron video because my laptop was broken and like I needed something to do. But I just ended up not doing it. We're just gonna bring him to level 45, that should be good enough. So I just didn't do it. Oh shoot, I need more thread. But I still kinda wanna make a Tron video. because I do have a lot of thoughts. So maybe what we need to do here is I just need to talk about Tron in this video, or in this stream, and I'll make like a supercut or something, and it'll be a really easy video to put out. I can be really lazy. But essentially, I have like a lot to say about Tron Ares. And I need Tron Rant not coming out. Tron Rant may be coming out. I don't know. I don't know, man. Arknights collab sucked. I'm neutral on the Arknights collab. I think it was probably the best it could be. Like, I don't know. I was just kind of bored by it. Maybe if I was like a super big Arknights fan, instead of playing like the first 2 chapters and dropping it, maybe I would have been like wojacking and pointing at the screen and like frothing at the mouth. But instead, my main takeaways are that Irene is really cute, and Mares is actually a really interesting villain. I like how the way that it ended very much painted it in the light of, guys, this is like Ji-hoon speaking, and he's being like, guys, look, I ended it open-ended so that you could put Mares in your game, and you can make her an operator. Wouldn't that be so cool? You know, maybe you guys could put my OC as an operator. I'd give you the rights. A higher Limbus pass level than you? Listen, I'm not very diligent, if I'm being honest. Has all the stream been Merceau glazing? If so, I don't blame you. Kinda. Here, do I need to put it up again? It wasn't all Merceau glazing, because we did also do this. All right, let's play the game. It's been 45 minutes, and we haven't played the actual game. Yeah, Mares was an interesting character. I don't think she's like top 10 Limbus character, like she ended up on that poll or whatever. I don't think that she's that good of a character, but I think she's a really interesting take on like a cult leader type. Let's listen to this voice acting. Yeah. Is the voice acting at a good level? Yeah, probably is. Bring back the shit mic? No. We're actually like in the stream now, all right? 40 whole people are watching this. Am I really gonna give them a shit mic? All right, how did this happen? So you might be wondering how I got here. First, we boarded the warp train to get to our next destination, P-Corp. Got into our fancy first-class flash freeze hibernation capsules, and we were supposed to arrive at P-Corp after a quick blink of an eye, but... The first thing I saw when my vision returned was the perplexed look on Faust, who had entered hibernation at the same time as I did. Then I realized that we woke up mid-transit on the warp train. Which could only mean that we're now stranded in some lost, unknown dimension. Shit mic equals content, I guess. I'll give you $20 more for that shit mic. Alright, guys. Alright, fine. Fine. Switch from my good mic to microphone array real tech off. There. Do I sound like I'm drowning? Do I sound joyous and happy? How long am I supposed to keep this mic? This wasn't like, is this like my super chat goal? It's been like almost an hour. It's been so long. We've been here for a while, and we've read like 3 lines of dialogue. Alright, I think that's enough. Do it with the phone mic. My phone mic, I think, sounded better than this. Please do this mic for the Tron rant. Maybe. Okay, hold on, let me put my mic back. $20 from Puppy Girl 33. Let's go, ladies! So I feel like I need to mention real quick. I'm not a Tron fan, all right? Me making a Tron Ares video is solely because I genuinely have so much to say on it, despite not being a Tron fan. Like, I watched the first movie when I was like 6, and I played Kingdom Hearts 2. I am not a Tron fan. What the hell happened? First things first, let's rewind and return to the very start of this highly unfavorable situation we find ourselves in. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation. Well, for that, we gotta go all the way back. You sound so quiet now. Yeah, I understand that my mic's kind of quiet. I don't know if it's because it's like that high filtered or what. I have it at the max input volume it can be. It's a nice mic. It's no slouch, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't have it close enough to my mouth, but it's really uncomfortable to put it any closer to my mouth, so I'm sorry. In my videos, I just scale the audio in post, so it doesn't sound that bad. But that's why things like the Millie or Kanye video had me so much quieter, so much more quiet compared to everyone else. A few days ago.
행선지는 워프 열차입니다. 딴테.
Yep, that's where it all started. There I was, still perplexed by the incidents at T-Corp, with my awful idea of clearing the air by asking Virgilius for our next destination, not knowing the storm that my innocent question would bring. Aww, her little Verily. Swallow the mic, I'm not putting it in my mouth.
맞게 들었을 텐데, 돈키호테. 너희들은 지금부터 T사의 워프 열차 승강장으로 간다.
워프 열차의 승강장에 무언가 문제가 있는 것이로군. 그것을 해결하러 가는 것이 아마도 우리의 임무 아니겠는가?
워프 열차 승강장에 또 뒤틀림이라도 나타났나?
소일거리를 하는 데에
Clip that. What, me saying I won't put my mic in my mouth?
하지만 그것도 아니다.
Is that what we're clipping? Is that really a clippable moment?
P사로 이동하기 위해 워프 열차에 직접 탑승한다. 문자 그대로 받아들이면 될 일이지.
I love this slightly like out of sync collective sigh. Since blood rushes to your face when you blush, could a blood fiend get more food if they bite your cheeks? I mean, when you blush, it isn't like all in your face. For most people, it's like on their upper body in general. So maybe that's why they bite the neck. Because that would probably get you like the best entry point into all of that. That's what I would think. Either that or it's because of like, I don't know, where the arteries connect or something. Like how the reason why our ring finger is what it is because on the left hand, that ring finger is the only finger with an artery that connects straight to your heart. Maybe it's something like that, and there's some artery in your neck. I'm not gonna pretend to know human anatomy enough. Just like, bro, where do you think the blood goes through to reach your cheeks? Jugular vein is where all the blood goes to. That's why vampires do that. See, okay, I knew it. I mean, I didn't know the exact words, but I was right. It was only natural that the sinners immediately fell into a state of collective dumbfounded shock. None of the sinners have any history of working at W Corp, but we're actually taking that train? Through what vague information we could gather from the identities, we all had some fragmentary knowledge about the terrible secrets of the warp train's operations. I initially considered hiding this information from the rest of the sinners, but since sharing things with everyone and letting them get their 2 cents usually ended up being pretty helpful, I've been sharing more of these of late.
인격을 사용했을 때의 기억은 흐릿하다 못해 없는 수준이나.
관리자와 인격의 대화록을 보았을 때 워프 열차의 원리가 다소 비효율적이고 기이하다는 부분은 확실했다.
I just realized just like how much Merceau shit is on this screen right now. Like he's here, there's the Tron poster in the corner, and there's the me saying I'll lose gallons.
아, 10초 만에 도착하는 게 아니라 사실은 엄청
Can you
오래
Banji
운행한
fed up for our
뒤에
last
승객분들의
message?
기억을
I'm not
전부
even gonna
없애는
read what her
거였죠?
last message was, okay? You guys can like hold on the chat replay if you're watching this and in the future. I'm not gonna read it. Fuck Ryoshu, this is Merceau month. Yeah. We're just gonna skip right past Canto 9 and go straight to Canto 10. Something I think that's really funny is we went like almost a whole year without a single Merceau identity, and Merceau fans were just kind of like, maybe next time. That's really unfortunate. And then we go like almost a year without a Heathcliff identity, and Heathcliff fans have gone rabid. Like Heathcliff fans genuinely lost it.
탑승객끼리 서로를 찍고 부순다고 했던 것 같은데요. 지루함을 이기지 못해서.
오랜만에 걸작품을 들여다볼 수 있겠군.
Even when the sinners wear the identities through my identity cards, the identity's memories or beliefs don't bleed into them once it's done and over with. I remember when Faust explained that, due to the risks associated with embracing such influences, there was a filtering process to intentionally block them from reaching the sinners. I never thought about that line before. How many people here have actually read Leviathan? Because I have. And something I've been thinking about for a while now is the last April Fool's event. Charon remembers it at the end. And sometimes I think about that and what that means in context if you've read Leviathan. That's really all I'm gonna say there, because I know most people haven't read Leviathan, and I think it's worth reading. But all you need to know is that the fact that Charon actually knew what was happening in April Fool's, I don't think that's like some silly throwaway joke. That's pretty important, knowing what we know. That's why the sinners could use the identities of some of our worst enemies without getting infected by their philosophies and whatnot. But it also meant that they couldn't retain any new information that each identity had to offer. That's why I keep a record of some things that sound particularly important and sometimes share it with the rest of the sinners. I wanted to read it. There are places where you can still find it. You know, you can still find it. I don't think I'm allowed to tell you how, but you can still find it. Google Project Moon Leviathan English. It shouldn't take long to find. It's always a throwaway line. No, there's more to the sunshine than it's worth a moment. I had like a whole rant about that. That line fucked me up. But it also meant that they couldn't retain any new information that each identity had to offer. That's why I had to keep a record of some of the things that sound particularly important and sometimes share it with the rest of the sinners. My voice doesn't really carry well past the window, so most of our communications are one-sided, but I had an abundance of W Corp identities, so it wasn't difficult to piece together the truth behind the trains. But, maybe ignorance really is bliss.
여러분의 이런 동요와 반발은 이미 예상하고 있었습니다.
Oh no, I'm talking about PM Leviathan. No, the actual Leviathan book, I don't think it's relevant to Project Moon yet.
파우스트군? 그대는 벌써 알고 있었던 겐가? 본인한테만 미리 살짝이라도 알려주지 그랬어.
Dawn's voice is so silly. I love Dawn.
모든 것을 알고 있으니까요. 당연히 여러분이 떠올린 문제를 해결할 방법도 준비해 두었습니다.
How do you end up with no warp IDs or ego? Like, half of them are 2 stars. How do you end up with none of them? Is it really that hard to pull 2 stars? I feel like it isn't.
열차를 탄다는 사실이 변하질 않는데 방법이 있다고요?
버스, 이 버스는요? 열차 안에
Does
버스가
anyone know how to
들어갈
beat
리도
Bloodbath
없잖아요.
in Library of Ruina? I'm trying to remember. Bloodbath is the one where it doesn't take damage from slash, I think. So just look at your skills. Try and build a deck that has pierce and blunt, if I remember correctly. It's been years since I played Ruina, but if I remember correctly, it's you use mostly pierce skills, I think, and you just don't use slash skills.
카론도 반대. 내 피 말고 다른 걸 타면 내 피.
파우스트 씨.
Is your Discord BFB Agent Spectre? It is right now, yes. Full disclosure, I change my profile picture like all the time. Cause I get really tired of it. Like really quickly. So, yeah.
워프 열차의 최후미는
Is it apparent that I'm like secretly a huge Yokai Watch fan? Is that apparent from me like offhandedly mentioning Puni Puni sometimes and putting the music in my videos? It is. I think it is. I don't know. It just says that it's a fire office fixer and that he's doing it for Big Sis. So like, who else would it be? Make a community server on Discord. Okay, I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm too scared to make a server. I am way too scared to make a server because I'd have to like moderate it and I'd have to like control it and do things, and that seems like a lot just for the sake of like letting people talk to me, I guess. It isn't necessarily something I want. I guess if anyone ever ends up getting deranged enough to make their own fan server for my channel, I'll join it. But I refuse to have like any sort of actual like I guess power there. That feels wrong to me. That isn't something I really want. So, yeah. If people like send me messages, I'll reply. I'll like say hi and stuff, but I do not want to make a community server. That is such a no-no for me. I was even like, people suggested like, okay, maybe though, why don't you make a Patreon server for your patrons? I even still no on that. It's just, it's difficult to maintain. I feel like it's unhealthy to do that when you, I guess for lack of a better term, when you have fans, it isn't really the best thing to then put yourself in a direct position of power to them. Especially when I have no other way to say this. Guys, I'm a normal ass woman. I'm not like a big deal or anything. So, that's why you gotta go in disguised as a rando. Yeah, I guess. I mean, again, I guess if someone else makes it, maybe I'll join. Maybe. That's like a hard maybe. But I refuse to ever have a position of power in that sort of thing. I'm sorry if that's like a really lame answer. It's just like my own personal belief there that Discord community servers owned by the creator never ends well.
또한 LCB 소속 전원은 1등석을 통해 이동할 예정입니다.
The bus begins to swell with noise again, though in a slightly different air to the alarmed response from earlier.
1등석이라면 부자놈들의 지정석
Hi,
같은 게
Ishmael.
아니냐?
We're not gonna say bye Ishmael this time, guys. Ishmael's here. We're gonna welcome her with open arms.
누구는 표 살 돈도 없어서 기차 화물칸에 끼어 타고 있는데 앞자리에서 거들먹거리면서 타던 놈들.
Oh my god, I skimmed And I thought he said others are creaming themselves. I'm such a child. That isn't funny. Others are creaming themselves.
왜 저를 노려보시는 건데요? 전 그런데 앉아본 적 없단 말이에요.
자리 하나에 날개 직원 초봉 서너 달치는 된다던데 회사 재정 괜찮은 거 맞아?
걱정할 만한 재정 상태는 아니죠.
개인 캡슐 프라이빗 뭐 고급스러운 단어가 덕지덕지 붙은 자리가
Dude, real talk, who gives a
개인별로
shit about
제공된다고 들었는데.
personalized private capsules? You're asleep. You're not gonna see it. If they put like Ricardo's kitty stickers inside, you're not gonna see it.
그런 식으로 홍보하곤 하죠. 엄밀하게는 급속 동면 캡슐입니다. 워프 열차가 실제 이동하는 시간 이상으로도 안정적인 작동이 되는 성능이니
Can't believe you've just
눈을
confirmed
감을
the
때가 떴을
gallons.
뿐인데 도착한 것과 다를 바 없는 체감일 것입니다.
그래도 회사의 배려에 참 감회가 새롭구려. 이동하는 길이 불편하지 않도록 그 비싼 자리를 선뜻 내어주다니.
그러게. 원래 같았으면
I like
길
this
잡을
fight
시간
going
크로만
on
슬쩍
in chat.
일등석을 태워보내주려나
between
했는데.
between two chatters who I know. just pointing fingers and going, "No."
구태여 전원을 안치기보단
The rabbit. You want to know what?
그
Fine.
충실한
Fine. Hold
조력자만
on.
있어도 충분했었겠지만
All right. You know what? I've got an idea. If you guys are gonna keep bringing up the goddamn rabbit, all right, we're gonna do this the right way. Why did it flip? I don't know why, but it rotated. I think that might make it funnier. But I've got an idea. This won't take long, I promise. I just need to make something real quick. Something very important. Who is the Jared Leto in blunt rotation of a poster? I guess technically Marceau, because Jared Leto was Ares. Just add the sheep to the stream. It's a matter of time. Oh, what? You mean this sheep? You mean that one? Yeah. He's just sitting there. So I don't know if this is like a hot take in terms of Tron Ares, but Jared Leto wasn't terrible in it. I don't like Jared Leto. I don't like him one bit. Not as a person, not as an actor, but I guess when he's being cast to play a emotionless robot who wants to try and learn the value of humanity and what emotions are, he's not bad simply because he cannot act. I did check my DMs. You're just sending me the fuck-ass rabbit over and over. Which, speaking of fuck-ass rabbit, hold on. I promise I'm almost done with this. I got a little distracted talking about Jared Leto back there. Now, inverse. Cut that and then deselect. Clean up those edges and I'm gonna call this file Headcliff. And oh, I forgot that it was rotated. Wait, I forgot it was rotated. I thought it was rotated the other way. Oh, whatever. It's too late. Not wrong. Move this. There. Can Char pause the stream? I have to pee. No. Unless this counts as a pause. Wonder, can I flip it in OBS? Is there a way to do that? Hold on. Oh, yep, here it is. Transform, flip horizontal. Yeah! Heathcliff is on. Oh, white Heathcliff. I was about to say, Heathcliff is on screen. I'm not putting white Heathcliff on screen. All right. But you want to know what? I can put on screen for you guys. I can put that on screen. All right? Never say I did nothing for you.
다들 왜 이렇게 호들갑인지. 다음 임무를 위해 가는 것이니만큼 워프 열차가 가지는 특수성에 대해 고민하고 걱정해도 모자랄 판인데요.
역시 이스마일 씨 말씀대로 아무리 1등석이라 해도 워프 열차 자체가 영 꺼림칙한 곳이기도 하고
1등석 칸은 일반석 승객들이 함부로 올 수 없는 공간이라는 것도 알아두시는 게 좋을 거예요. 아니, 아예 열지 못하겠군요.
Ishmael, who'd been holding that first-class promotional pamphlet in her hands for a while, was chattering on with fire in her eyes.
그러니까 저희는 따로 전투를 치를 필요가 없이 편안하게 눈만 감으면 되는 거라고요. 옛날에 재정이 더 좋았을 무렵에는 기념품도 하나씩 줬었다고 했는데.
Commemorative merch! As someone who owns the warp hat, I can approve.
모험에는 항상 고난이 따라붙긴 마련이지. 허나 칭송받는 영웅도 잠시 눈을 감고 쉬어갈 때가 필요한 법. 언제나 허름한 여간에서 몸을 낼 순 없는 일이지.
Her little sniffle. Seems like everyone was at least somewhat interested in the fabled first-class seats of warp trains. Could sense that there was a growing consensus among the sinners that even a warp train trip might be acceptable if it meant that they could ride in the first-class seats.
타야 한다면 타겠다.
꼭 1등석에 타야만 되나? 그곳은 나비
I
교환을
prefer the
탐색하는
scenic
재미가 없을
route.
텐데.
Virgilius pretended not to hear Ryoshi's question.
좋아. 그럼 다 받아들였다는 것으로 알고
저 가장 중요한 질문이 남아있네.
뭐냐? 답지 않게 쭈뼛거리고.
Don Quixote carefully began, almost whispering in a low voice.
1등석이란 공간에선 신발을 벗고 타야 한다는 소문이 있는데 사실입니까?
어디서 또 괴상망측한 소문을.
소문이 아니오. 요전에 지나가는 자들의 대화를 엿들었는데.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why would Ryoshi even care about being in the economy class when she forgets it at the end? The only person who would potentially remember is Dante.
당연하지. 그걸 누가 모르냐? 라고 하였단 말이오.
Wait. We're listening to that again. I love her little impressions of people.
1등석 타면 맨발로 타야 하는 거 알지? 라고 묻자. 당연하지. 그걸 누가 모르냐? 라고 하였단 말이오.
Her little voices.
참말인가? 이스마일 군?
왜 저한테 물어봐요? 저도 타본 적은 없단 말이에요. 홍보 책자에 그런 내용은 없었는데. 잠시만요.
그건 안 될 일일세. 본인은 로신한테와 한층 떨어져서는 안 되는 사이여야 하네. 결코 우리 로신한테를 저 홈상국
I love her singling out Heathcliff It's been a while since this event came out. I forgot a lot of these small things. I forgot that she literally just singles out Heathcliff.
이게 진짜
불빛 시선께 부탁하네. 로신한테를 옆에 같이 태우면 안 되겠는가?
Forgot about those gross ass Dawn shoes. You do not tarnish Rocinante's name with those heathenous lips, okay? We love her gross ass shoes. She eats, she breathes, she sleeps with them on, she bathes with them on, all right? We shouldn't ever separate her from Rocinante. his little squint. I expected Virgilius to answer with his usual exasperated rebuff, contrary to my expectations. However, I read that in the wrong cadence. Let's fucking go. Contrary to my expectations, however, he responded in a somewhat serious tone, if tainted by that familiar annoyance.
신발은
Escu thinks they're ugly. I think you're ugly, Escu. I'm sure you're a nice guy. I've never spoken with you before. Fine, keep your shoes on. Girl, don't let those piggies go to the market. Oh my god. Those dogs need to stop barking. I don't think they're soggy. I think they're like slip resistant shoes. They're like actual leather. I don't even think they get wet. Just kind of like washes straight off. You know? To separate Dawn from her shoes is akin to separating mother from a child. Just ask Ryoshu. Oh, that's mean. That's mean. Whoa, this place is nuts. Sorry, I mean, this place is huge. That was my first impression of the warp train station. Guys, Dante is never gonna say to you, this thing is huge, all right? Never. Because they're all hard mode, that's why. Don Quixote shouted vibrantly, immediately recovered from her previous apprehension of the sheer possibility that she might be separated from Rocinante. So each nest has one of these, massive structures in them?
나라고 알겠냐? 어이, 아는 거 있어?
Heathcliff asked, gesturing towards Merceau with his chin.
모든 워프 열차 승강장은 그 둥지의 특징과 걸맞는 조형과 건축으로 도시 내에서도 유명하다. 승강장의 모습 그 자체로도 도시 명물 중 하나라고 칭송하는
We love our rap god. I assume Dawn doesn't wash her socks either. False! She doesn't wear socks. Alright, we got that directly confirmed later in this event. She raw dogs it. Alright? I need to like sit back for a second. The smell, okay? I don't care if like, I know some people, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, I know some people are like into that. I don't think you are when it's to that extent. I think we all reach a point, you know? Like, that's just fucking disgusting. Dude, the blisters, imagine the blisters. Imagine, all right? You like take them off and there's like an imprint in those shoes. I have no idea when it happened, but Heathcliff started treating Merceau like a walking encyclopedia from time to time.
메르소군! 저자는 서부에서 온 해결사가 맞는가?
아니다. 저자의 복장은 가죽 재질과 금속 재방어구가 아니라 원단으로 만들어졌군. 저런 직물 스타일은 남북을 따지지 않지만 서부에서는 보기 드문 동부의 복식이기에.
At least 50 years. Not even. I think it's been like almost 200. If not a little more than 200. She has had those things on her feet for literal centuries without socks, going on adventures. I want to believe that Dawn doesn't actually sweat. I think there's at least a few CGs where there's like a bead of sweat, like a comical bead of sweat on her cheek. So wrong. What the fuck are all y'all talking about? We're talking about Dawn's sweaty feet.
조금만 천천히 불러주시오. 메모를 해야 하니. 그럼 북부는 추운 날씨 탓에 펑퍼짐한 패션을 하고 있다고 잡지에서
Yes,
보긴
at least
했지만
200 years of having those shoes on her feet, no socks. All right? And yes, for most of that time, she was sitting doing fuck all in a lighthouse. However, even if you're locked in a room, you're still gonna get sweaty. Okay? I'm sure we have all woken up sweaty from a nap or something. Okay? You don't just stop sweating because you're not moving. No, we know that the feet are relevant to the story, okay? I'm not gonna hold your hand. I'm not gonna try and hide spoilers here. If you're watching this stream, you know the twist. However, no, even if they I'm gonna keep crushing your dreams. Even if they remove the salt from her sweat because she like sweats blood or some shit, mold is still gonna grow in those things. She's still gonna get foot fungus. Do you think Rocinante slurped her sweat? Oh, that is not a mental image I wanted. If blood fiends do sweat, they probably like sweat blood or some shit. Or maybe sweat just like doesn't count because it's more like salt and pheromones than it is water. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Blood is mostly water. So I don't understand. I say I don't understand like that isn't just a part of vampire lore. You know, that's like one of the vampire things. Oh, vampires are afraid of water. It's like the only one that Project Moon rolled with. As greatly badly as I wish like the blood fiends in this game had to ask permission before entering a house, I think that'd be awesome, but nope, just the fear of water.
그것은 바로 코앞에 있는 자를 관찰해 보면 알 수 있다.
3 seconds of screaming duet. One of utter fascination, and the other of unmitigated frustration.
뭐야? 귀가 멀어버릴 뻔했잖아.
우리도 마찬가지였거든.
음악 가창음악대를 넓혀놨다고. 정신 나갈 뻔했네.
In vampire mythology, they are only afraid of running water, like rivers and shit. You know, I'm pretty sure that's the origin of it in Project Moon. I've kind of considered this before. I think that the reason why blood fiends are afraid of water is it that fixer is a girl? I think that fixer is literally Sasha. I think that fixer is literally Sasha. But I think, okay, this has been my theory for a bit now. Do any of you know anything about rabies? When you contract rabies, the main way it spreads is through the frothing of the mouth, and how it generates that is it gives you hydrophobia. It makes you afraid of water. It makes you like genuinely think in your mind that if you drink water, you will die. And I think that it might be the same with blood fiends. And if that originates from running water, if the whole thing is that because the quote unquote the cure to blood fiendism is the river Oblivion, it would make sense that the blood fiend gene or whatever evolved to make its user or wearer or haver or whatever the fuck afraid of water. All right, when you think about it that way, I feel like it makes sense. The reason why they're afraid of water is because water is the cure.
워프열차 처음 타보는 놈들처럼 왜 그러고 길을 단체로 막고 있는 거야? 아이씨, 기껏 원정 왔는데 목표를 놓쳐서 짜증나 있는 상태인데.
진 않나? 처음 타보는 거?
심지어 워프열차 왕복권은 내 탑이었다고.
아유 저 조심해. 그렇게 무기를 든 채로 팔 4개를 붕붕 흔들면
혹시 그대의 옷차림에 대해 조금 더 자세히 관찰해.
This room would be carrier. Thank you. It's like almost 10 p.m. I'm tired.
이왕이면 5분 정도만 가만히.
The fixer, with a particularly impressive set of prosthetic arms, spent a few minutes venting several of his numerous grievances at us before storming off to a different platform.
역시
Wait, so it isn't Sasha? Okay, I think that's a translation error. All right, because we didn't have voice acting at the time, so I think that's just a translation error. Are blood fiends a relative of distortions? No. Blood fiends have existed long before distortions have. Distortions, in relative to the lore, have only been around for around 3 to 4 years. Blood fiends have been around. Blood fiends are older than the city itself. So like, and we know this for several reasons. Distortions only became a thing around 3 to 4 years ago when the White Nights and Dark Days happened. They are a direct consequence of the Dark Day part of it. Blood fiends have existed for a long time. However, primarily according to Moses, mostly, in Distortion Detective, and it's the same with mermaids, I'm gonna know. A lot of people distort into blood fiends. And blood fiends themselves can distort, as we saw with Elena in Ruina. So blood fiends are not distortions, but distortions can be blood fiends, if that makes sense. And it's the same with mermaids. Mermaids are explicitly stated to not be distortions, but distortions can be mermaids.
저 사람도 똑같이 생각했을걸요.
I don't think that's true because Callie was able to manifest ego before the White Knights. Wouldn't that imply that distortions also existed? No. That is because Callie manifested ego via a prototype created by Ian. A prototype extracted from nothing there was how she was able to awaken to her ego. I don't know exactly how that worked. I don't think we've really had it explained how that in particular worked, but it was some like combination of a strong will with the cogito in that ego gear. So even though the whole shit with Mares was because the dimensional door was open. that one's easy. The dimensional door was open. Carmen stuck her slimy little fingers into Iberia and gave Mares a pat on the head, all right? The reason why Callie was able to awaken to ego was because she had the prototype mimicry. It's directly stated in her key page that the voice she heard, it wasn't the voice of the distortion. The voice of the distortion is Carmen. The voice she heard was the voice of nothing there. It was nothing there itself that spoke to her, and thus what allowed her to awaken to her ego. It was a prototype made of cogito and abnormalities and all that shit. That is why she was able to get ego, even though the general light had not been spread yet. That was just her sword. No, no. I remember this very specifically. Angela directly states in Library of Ruina, her sword and armor is ego. Her ego is not manifested from nothing there. I don't know what the fuck her ego is. Or, I mean, her suit. Her armor. I don't know what her armor is. Mimicry is from nothing there. I don't know what's up with her suit, but they are both directly stated to be ego. Ego prototypes specifically created by Ion. Less like a pat on the head and more like a forcible dunking into the toilet. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. But yes, Mare's directly distorted because of Carmen. The only ego awakening / distortion thing we know about that was pre-Carmen was Callie. And I guess if you wanna say the abnormalities. I don't know what's up with the abnormalities. Her armor is a part of her own personal ego. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Callie. I'm sorry. I know a lot of stuff from this game off the top of my head, but I still don't really understand what was up with Callie. Described as a prototype version, but it still is mimicry. Yeah, I don't know what her armor was. Maybe the only reason, because here's the thing. I know in her key page, it directly states that what allowed her to manifest her ego was the voice of mimicry. Oh, you know what? Okay, hold on. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it now. Carmen's hypothesis was directly, we all have the ability to awaken to ego inside of us, but it's latent, it's hidden, we cannot manifest it, and we have no way of grabbing it. The whole purpose of Cogito was to allow someone to awaken to their ego. So because Callie had the mimicry prototype, this is what I'm thinking, of course. Because Callie had the mimicry prototype and was dealing with its voice and conquered that, because of the Cogito, it also allowed her to then awaken to her own latent ego. It's not like the White Knights and Dark Days created ego, it just gave everyone the opportunity to have it. That's what I would think. Because we know for sure that Blood Fiends are not distortions, and that ego only became a widespread thing after the White Knights and Dark Days. And that distortions did not exist prior to those. Monsters did. Things like the Cuckoo Spawn humans, the Clockwork Teeth, all of those existed pre-White Knights and Dark Days. Distortions did not. I am so sorry. That was such a rant. How many times are we gonna get distracted?
역시 도시엔 흔한 걸까요?
That's when Virgilia slowly walked up to our group.
그럼 도착해서 만나도록 하지.
She gained her armor after overcoming nothing. There's an attempt at corrosion, so you're exactly correct. Let's go! I'm so smart. I googled none of that. That was all off the top of my head.
붉은 시선께서는 함께 하시지 않은 것이요?
W사의 정책상 색을 부여받은 자는 별도로 마련된 열차를 사용해야 한다더군.
So while we're on the topic of Carmen, I'm so sorry. I've had a theory for a while now of what the exact origin of her hypothesis comes from in like our real world. I don't remember the specifics, but there is like a theory, a modern day theory to like explain the meaning of life and stuff. And particularly it's to explain like, I guess why some people are quote unquote NPCs or whatever. And that is that the tree of life is out of fruits. I think that was also Carmen's plan. I don't remember the exacts, but it is related to the tree of life and that whole creation mythos and stuff. But if the tree of life is out of fruits and there's no way for them to be bestowed upon new humans, it would henceforth create like husks of humans. I think that's like the origin of why Carmen's plan was what it was. It directly follows that logic, and in this universe, the light is the tree. It's out of fruits, so she's trying to manifest it. So I just wanted to throw that in. I'm not quoting it the best because I remember I researched this like 2 years ago, and I like wrote a little hypothesis about it down to myself. I'll have to read it again someday. Maybe I should make a video in general about my Project Moon theories, because I have a few. I also definitely think that Carmen is Mephistopheles. I've got a lot of reasons for that one, so.
1등석에도 1등석이 있는 거야?
어딜 가나 특색은 날개 차원에서 특별 대우를 해주나 보네요.
카로는 돌아가고 싶어. 메피, 외로울 거야.
서로 맛이 다른 사탕을 3번이나 사주면서도 말하지 않았나. 화물 칸에는 사람을 실을 수 없다, 카론. 그럼 파우스터 씨.
My theory is I think Carmen died, yo. I mean, she did.
네.
I feel like I need to reiterate. Also good night, person who is going to bed. I need to reiterate, I have Googled literally nothing. I have been staring at my Limbus company screen this whole time. That is just how autistic I am. I know literally all of this off the top of my head. Angelica and Ishmael share the same VA. I'll do you one better. Bari and Faust share the same VA. And that was not like a Runa thing. Or wait, no, it was. Never mind. Bari did have voice acting in Runa. I'm fucking stupid. Angela is transgender, but I don't think Carmen is. Virgilius, after exchanging a knowing look and nod with Faust, escorted the particularly peeved Charon away.
단테, 저희는 이쪽으로.
500 Argentinian pesos, again, from Dark Souls is my city. Okay, you got me at Carmen is Mephistopheles. I'm donating this to the fund of whatever that video is. Sorry, I'm still Argentinian. No, I genuinely, I really think Carmen is Mephistopheles. And I'd start like pulling up my like sources for that, but then I'd have to start fucking around with OBS again to get images on there. But all I'm gonna say is, I want you at home listening to this or watching this or whatever, stop like drawing or doing your laundry or whatever it is you're doing in the background. Look up what the well looks like in Lobotomy Corporation, and then look up the extraction scene image from Limbus Company. All right? Look up the diagram that Bina shows X of the well, specifically of Carmen, and then look at the Mephistopheles summoning animation. That's your teaser. I'll leave you at that. Have abnos existed before lobotomy, or were they created by injecting cogito? I've seen both sides of this argument. That's a loaded question. I don't really know the answer myself because I've also seen both sides. There is a part in Lobotomy Corp where Angela directly states that abnormalities, some of them do exist. And I know we have that via Big Bird. She directly shows Big Bird, and we have since seen the cuckoo spawn humans. I'm pretty sure what it is that, oh my god, words are escaping me. I'm pretty sure what it is that, yes, those things like exist, but the abnormality versions of them are not them. You know, like Big Bird exists, whatever it is, the abnormality is a manifestation of that. Because the reason why the abnormalities are what they are is because they're gathered from the river. The river is general human subconsciousness. The well taps into the river, and if in the general human subconsciousness, there is this idea of the Black Forest, of the cuckoo spawn humans, of some sort of protector, guardian thing for it, that could then bleed into the human ideals of the head, and thus that created the three birds, Apocalypse Bird, and all of that. So yes, those things are real. I think that's also why specifically Limbus so much like emphasizes Dante being like, it's not a distortion, but it's not quite an abnormality either. But God, does it remind me of one? The cuckoo spawns are not abnos. Those are monsters. And the big thing is, I need to like reiterate this. Abnormalities are allowed in the city, cuckoo spawn humans are not. If Big Bird was actually grabbed from the outskirts from the cuckoo spawn village or whatever, it would not be allowed in the city. The reason why the abnormalities are allowed in the city is because they were once human. This is also why blood fiends are allowed in the city, why maybe potentially sweepers are allowed in the city. So, yeah. That if Big Bird was actually an outskirts monster from the Black Forest out in the outskirts, Ian would have gotten his ass kicked the moment he brought it in. I already think it's weird that he got away with Angela for as long as he did, but he would have gotten in even more shit if he brought an outskirts monster in and started extracting energy from it. Big Bird was manifested from the well, made from a human host. So. I am so sorry for the Yap Fest. I think some of the ones that were contained were created by Lobotomy Corp's own follies. I think a lot of it is just storytelling. Like Laetitia, for example, if you read Laetitia's story, Laetitia and Plague Doctor are both stated to have come to the facility of their own volition. It's stated that those two were not like extracted and captured, but in their stories, it is stated that they entered the corporation on their own means in order to help people. I think that's all bullshit. I think that that is what the abnormalities think happened, but it's not. Letitia did not actually come to the corporation of her own volition. She was just created from a human using Cogito from the river, and she thinks that she came there of her own volition. Same deal with Plague Doctor. So would the birds be like how Nosferatu is just a representation of Bloodfiends as Abnos? I don't know, bro. Always bet on Iron, bro. So yeah, that was and that's also why things like the ordeals of Green are like clearly meant to be automatons out in the outskirts. And I think they're a representation, I think in general. And okay, pardon me referencing L Corp Legacy. I actually played L Corp Legacy. I didn't beat it, but I played it. So let me, pardon my referencing of L Corp Legacy. I understand a lot was retconned from that. But in that it states, straight up, no bars, it states, the ordeals are Iron. So I think maybe a part of that still exists, and my personal interpretation slash theory slash whatever is that the ordeals, as they are failed abnormalities, as stated by Bina, I think it's Ion's influence seeping in. Because we know that the abnormalities are not directly extracted from the river. Like, I don't know, something like fucking Mrs. Earnshaw was. What we know is that they were then filtered through Carmen, the mother of all abnormalities. They were filtered through the well and dumped out into our world. That is what gave them form. And they were very similar to the Pekachula, actually. That person would turn into the ordeals, which could not be contained and had to be destroyed by the agents. In L Corp Legacy, it is stated instead that the ordeals were the remnants of Ion, who was instead not necessarily the well, but kind of similar to it. He had become his corporation. So I think in that way, the ordeals are manifestations of what Ion and Carmen saw out in the outskirts. The ordeal of Green is the automatons, the ordeal of Violet and Amber are different monsters, and the ordeal of Indigo is the sweepers, obviously. I don't think that the monsters of the outskirts are a product of the well. I think they just kind of exist. The well, everything that is the product of the well are the abnormalities and the extracted egos, not efflorist egos or anything like that. I think, yes, that the monsters could be from the river. I think that's very plausible. We know that ghosts came out of the river, all right? Because of Mrs. Earnshaw. And we know that the river can do some crazy shit. The river tracks underneath the city in some parts, but it is primarily found in the outskirts, and it is a gap between worlds. That is also why I fully believe that Carmen is Mephistopheles, because I think what Mephistopheles exactly is, it's a pinpoint much like Carmen was. Carmen was the well. It allowed parts of the river to funnel out in a controlled manner. That is also what Mephistopheles is. Mephistopheles channels the river of infinite possibilities, funnels them out into the identities and ego, and it feeds off of Encephalon. What did Carmen feed off of? Encephalon. All right? Do we understand? Are you guys hearing me? Am I converting you to my theory that Carmen is Mephistopheles? We have stared at slack-jawed Rodian, Faust, and Don Cleave for like 10 minutes. What's your opinion on Legends ZA? It's fun, I just wish it was good. We followed Faust's guidance to the entrance of our train car.
와, 색도 좀 돌아오는 걸? 그리고 이게 말로만 듣던 웰컴 푸드 앤 드링크. 아, 그래, 한두 푼도 아닌데 이런 것쯤은 있어줘야지.
The general response to this room was a surprise at the rows upon rows of expensive-looking, sizable capsules. Flash freeze hibernation, huh? I guess it literally freezes our bodies in a flash. Faust, are these flash freeze hibernation devices, safe?
안전이라는 말씀은?
That is true. Carmen did produce Enkephalon. But she also, in order to keep her brain alive, had to be fucking bathed in it, so... Can you draw Mega Starmie as Patrick with fishnets? You can find like 5 billion images of that online already. I don't need to. But you want to know what I could draw? I could draw you a sheep. Just so you know. Oh shit, I forgot to read that. Wait, I felt like I was playing the game by myself again. These things are supposed to freeze us solid, right? Can we really come back from something like that? There we go. Pretend I read it. What color is the sheep? Electric.
동결시에 발생하는 밀도의 증가나 수분 결정이
Do you love the city you live in? Yes.
이 모델은 전부 해결한 것으로.
I wonder how many rivers exist in this setting. We know about 3 separate ones, and then whatever the one that connects under Wuthering Heights is. So, and I guess whichever one connected underneath L Corp HQ. I missed about half of what you said, but your point is that it's safe, right? That's you guys. You guys missed half of what I said because I started yapping too long.
문제가 있더라도 결국 도착 시에는 원점으로 돌아오니 문제가 없는 것과 다르지 않겠죠.
야, 안전하다는 걸 저렇게 길게 말하는 것도 재주다 재주.
I'm with Heathcliff here. Actually, no, Heathcliff is also you guys. Wow, you really have a talent on dragging out. Yeah, I think Carmen is Mephistopheles out for like 15 minutes. If they're called rivers, is there a conversion point? That is a very good question. There might be. Of course, like I mentioned before with the well and Mephistopheles, we have artificial conversion points that work as a funnel into our current world. And I think in the past, things such as Mrs. Earnshaw's ghost and shit were described as like leaks. Sometimes it leaks into our world. I think actually, now that I'm thinking about it like that, I think the cuckoo spawn humans are from the river. Because if I remember correctly, in Lobotomy Corp, when Angela is talking about Big Bird, she sort of describes it as an anomaly that leaked into this world. So I wouldn't be surprised if the cuckoo spawn humans also came from the river, leaked out into the outskirts, and then, of course, the concept of them became those 3 abnormalities, merging with city concepts and being brought forth via a human proxy. Ley lines of potentiality. Yeah. No, that'd probably be it. That would probably be it. Maybe one of these days I have been thinking, so I bought an HDMI cord for my iPad. I do all my art on my iPad. I bought an HDMI cord for my iPad. And I'm thinking maybe once I'm done with these commissions and stuff, I'll do some art streams. I could probably get some more yapping done there because I think it's easier to draw in Yap than it is to play a game in Yap. So... Okay, but that still leaves a lot to be worried about. Just as I was wondering, however, I realized that there was something odd about the way she phrased that answer. As far as Faust is aware? Are you saying that it could be wrong?
파우스트는 대체로 틀리지 않습니다.
Yo, give me some of the ice cream. I'm hungry. Do you have Neapolitan? That's like actually my favorite ice cream flavor. That and salted caramel.
파우스트가 아직 구하지 못한 정보도 세상에는 존재합니다. 그렇기 때문에 사실은 말할 수 있어도 진실과는 어긋날 수 있는 것이죠.
오케이.
그래도 1등석이 좋긴 좋네. 피사 정도면 북부 끝자락에 있는 지역인데 눈을 감았다가 뜨면 도착이라니.
Amaretto cherry cordial? Aww.
준비되었는가? 로신한테요.
Bro, I'm smiling. I'm smiling. I'm smiling at our little deep breaths. Wait until she begins entering into what railways potentially are. Oh, come on, share with the class. I want some ice cream. I don't even like cherry, but I'll take it.
그러고 보니까 돈키호테.
I made some cookies earlier today, and I have a few right next to me because I thought that I'd get gluttonous and want to munch on some, but I haven't eaten any. I've been so busy yapping that I kind of forgot that I had cookies next to me.
그 신발 빨긴 하는 거야?
Where'd that come from, Radia?
아니, 생각해보니까 우리
No, I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what the railways could be. I have no clue. And the Walpurgis Nugs, bro, how am I supposed to know? We need more info on the Walpurgis Nugs and the railways and stuff. I don't have any idea what those could be. Maybe they're a manifestation of Carmen's memories. I don't fucking know.
그 고래가 터지면서 온갖 찌꺼기들이 다 묻었었잖아. 옷이랑 신발 할 거 없이. 그래서 우리 그 살점이랑 피 같은 옷들 세탁하느라 고생 좀 했었고.
I like how she's just smiling throughout all of this. Nobody can take her joy away.
별로 유쾌한 기억은 아니지만 그랬었죠.
그때 돈키호테 혼자 저 운동화를 끝까지 안 벗고 버티고 있었다니까.
Dude, to those who like watched the last stream, you thought that I yapped for a bit when I was like theorizing what the mother sweeper could be. If only you knew.
듣고 보니 좀 꼬질해 보이긴 하네요.
자네들 자신의 애마를 품 안에서 함부로 떼어놓는 기사를 본 적이 있는가?
I think the golden bows are basically like coagulations of light. They aren't a result from the main L branch. No, they are a result from the library. Because the thing is, okay, white nights were the light being spread throughout the whole city. Dark days were the days where Angela stole the light. Some like month or 2 or 3 or whatever after that. I don't know how long. Someone's like done the math. I haven't. The light was then spread, the light was then collected and gathered into the library. Some like 3 months pass, that's the events of Library of Runa. The light is then distributed back onto the city, and that creates both all the people who died in there being resurrected, and also the golden bows, which are coagulations of light from the library. Because the library was able to stay even past the light being gone, because the library is Angela's ego.
기사 자체를 본 적이 없는데.
그렇다면 이제라도 보고 듣고 기억해 두시게.
I like bumped my water bottle against my table, sorry.
사자들은 단 한순간도 조용히 있는 법이 없군.
Yeah, I mean, they never died. They became a book, but it's essentially death. It's not like proper, it's death in the same way that if you cut someone's head off in this universe, they're quote unquote dead until you revive them. Like if I were to get hypothetically, if I were to get my head cut off, I'd think I was pretty dead, Even though, yes, I could be revived if I had life insurance. I think that's pretty dead, man. I did not know it was a fact either when I played Library of Runa, and I got really, really sad when you killed Mio. Because I played Lobotomy Corp, and I was like, oh, dude, it's Mio, she's here! And then you kill her and you go, aw, and then it's revealed that she has a clone, and you're like, yes, she's still alive! And then you kill the clone, and Angela like makes a point to be like, oh man, she's really dead now. But yeah, that's what really drove Streetlight Office and Liu's stories, was that because also if you look at the lyrics of Iron Lotus, a lot of it is more so about the fact that she doesn't want the library to have his body. It feels like an insult, lines like the, oh my god, I like to hum the song to remember it. Or it was like our sufferings were rated. They were read and rated. Like Roland and Angela are observing these people's lives, commentating on them when everything is very real. Zhao didn't want that happening. It was like an insult. They were looking at his book, reading it, perusing it, using it for their knowledge, when in reality, all she wanted was just to have his body to go bury him. To not have it like defiled in such a way. There are 2 Mios roaming the city now. No. Okay, like either A, Raven team took care of it since they're the ArcCorp disposals team, or more likely, one of them got fucking killed. Cause if it existed for like, what was it, 10 days, that would be violation of taboo, and we'd see a very big fuss made around ArcCorp, so.
와, 그런데 오티스 씨도 이런 곳에 와보신 적이 있나 봐요?
뭐 옛날에는 이런 비슷한 VIP 좌석을 제공받고는 했지. 유난 떨 필요는 없다.
This is reminding me of that one tweet that it was like you know, when you technically think about it, if the puppets are still alive, then that means Angelica puppet is still alive and we might get a boss fight. And then someone like immediately debunked it after that and the guy just replied, please let me have this. Otis, who was sitting there and shaking her legs, suddenly asked Faust a question.
어이, 1등석에는
It's been 20 years since the library spread the light. No, it hasn't.
확실하겠지?
We can figure out how long it's been by and I'm being so serious when you say this, by calculating how old Hong Lu was when he witnessed the horrors with how old he is today. Hong Lu is our greatest litmus for understanding the timeline.
여러분의 불안감 조성을
There was
방지하기
like,
위해 워프 열차에서
because we have like
일어났던
kind of a
사고에
vague
대한
idea of how long it's been.
열거하지
We
않겠습니다.
definitely know there was like at least a 2 years gap, because there is a scene in Leviathan where Virgilius is remembering something that happened after the library was not destroyed but moved to the outskirts and it spread its light and stuff. Because he remembered something regarding Iori and Tamari, and then it like cuts forward and someone taps his shoulder and it's been like it was a whole year ago. So we do know it's been that long at least. Creating a comprehensive timeline is something PM is afraid to do. I have been kind of like not working on a video for that, but workshopping it. Like the idea of trying to explain the whole Project Moon timeline, but chronologically. Because I think a lot of us can like, you know, we can say what happened in each of the games, but I don't think we can really start from like, okay, let's start with Bari and let's go to the current day. Let's calculate the exact years and stuff. I've seen like one post online that tried to do that, and even that was a lot of guesswork. So I think that'd be a really fun video to make. Yeah, like about 3 years. That's probably a good estimation. I don't remember. Someone, like I said, someone figured it out by calculating how old Hong Lu was when he witnessed the horrors compared to how old he is today, but yeah. And I think we can also calculate it because we have Gregor's exact age. I think we could calculate it by looking at that and comparing it to how old he was during the Smoke War. We don't know exactly when the G-Corp soldiers were developed. It could have been slightly before the Smoke War as a prototype, but Gregor himself could have been a direct result of the Smoke War, and we know he was 15 when his, like, bug body was properly completed. So we could probably also figure it out with that. There are a few ways that we can try and figure out the timeline. It's just really hard to figure out.
그게 무슨...
곧 출발하려나 본데요?
P사의 PW612 워프 열차 곧 탑승 수속을 마감합니다.
The sinners, who were either leisurely enjoying their complimentary snacks or taking a look around the first-class car, suddenly became a lot busier.
그럼 너무 늦기 전에 캡슐에 들어가도록 하죠.
Oh no, why isn't this? The other sinners made it into their capsules no problem, but I felt like I was the only one who was fumbling.
긴장하셨나요, 단테?
I think so.
워프 10분 전.
How old is Gregor now? We have his exact age. Let me Google it real quick. Because the thing is, all the sinners, they have like these little cards explaining like information about them, like their eyesight in each eye, their blood type and stuff. The info is all redacted, but they forgot to redact Gregor's at one point. So we got like all his info because of that. Let me see. Doo-ba-doo. Hold on. It's hard to find because they changed all the ID cards with the new art. So I think he's 37 if I remember correctly. He's in his 30s. But yeah, Gregor got doxxed. Okay, he's 35. He is 35, so he's like 36 or 37 now. He should be 38 now. No, I think Limbus is moving slightly slower than our real world, so I think he's 37 now. I think I was right. He's older than 35 because he was 35 when the game started, but he's like somewhere between 35 to 38, yes. So we know his exact age. I could probably sort that out too by like calculating how long Limbus has been going on now. So we do have the dates. And then cross-reference that with him being 15. And then cross-reference that again with Hong Lu's age. And then maybe we'll get something.
제가 돕도록 하죠. 우선 내부에 기댄다는 느낌으로 서신 뒤
Faust expertly guided me into the capsule as though she'd done something like this before, then pressed the button inside the capsule that closed the hatch.
너무 걱정하지 마세요. 금방 다시 보게 될 겁니다. 단테.
New Year happened at the beginning of Nocturnal Sweeping. Yeah, I think it's been 2 years then. Either 2 or 3. I forgot that Dawn's got her arms up.
우리 열차는 이제 워프하겠습니다. 좌석 벨트가 단단히 메어졌는지 다시 한번 확인 부탁드립니다.
The last thing I saw before my capsule began to fill with gas was Faust climbing into her own capsule opposite of mine. Little did I know back then what she really meant by "we will meet again in but a moment."
단테, 일어나야 합니다. 단테.
But one thing I knew for sure was
상정 외의 상황입니다.
that something had seriously gone wrong. Wow, how long has it taken us to read 3 things? Because we've read 2 of these and the Merceau story. And we've got, oh, I forgot to convert. Oh wait, no, I don't convert. It's my muscle memory. It's the muscle memory. I need to have this Encephalon to keep playing. My goodness. Anyways, let's read some more. Hopefully this one won't take another hour. We're here already? Wow, I guess that wasn't an exaggeration at all. It really all happened in the blink of an eye. As always, Faust was giving me her usual look, which was a complete lack of any emotive expression. Which, I suppose, is why I didn't immediately register that something had gone awry.
아니요, 도착하지 않았습니다.
Huh? But once I finally came to and I had some time to digest that odd reply, I looked up at her face once again. And realized that her expression was more antsy than usual by a microscopically minuscule degree. So this train is still running?
그렇습니다.
Then where are we?
어디인지 알 수 없는 좌표의 차원 어딘가를 표류하고 있을 것이라고 판단되네요.
I took a reflexive deep breath from the sheer horror of the numerous implications stuffed into that dryly delivered sentence. When that passed, the first thing that struck my mind was that we were about to suffer the very thing that we were so worried about. I see. But I soon found myself calming down. Yeah, this had to be a part of Faust's plan. She probably saw this coming from a mile away. I'm sure she's about to proudly tell me every little detail of her plan that'll help us out of this situation. But this is all just a part of the plan, right? Faust? That was an unusually long silence from Faust.
절반은 맞고 절반은 틀립니다.
With that, Faust left me to flounder in the chaotic stream of vaguely terrifying information as she began stopping by each capsule to wake the sinners. Now, I'm gonna be dead ass. I suggest my audience use ad blockers. Use your internet condom. I recommend it. You know? Like, I mean, sure, maybe if you want to, like, support a creator, turn it off or something. But I feel like YouTube ads have gotten so obnoxious that if you really care that much, there are other means to support a creator you like than suffering through that. What is the time frame between L Corp and Ruina? I think like 3 months. Not long.
벌써 도착한 거야? 야, 진짜 눈 감아.
아닙니다.
뭐야? 진짜 도착한 거야? 정말 눈 감았다 뜨니까.
아닙니다.
도착한 거예요? 생각보다 겁먹을 필요가 전혀 없.
아닙니다. 아닙니다.
Forgot about that one.
아직 아무 말도 안 했네만.
No, the Sephiroth Civil War lasted like 3 days. But there was time between Ruina and Lobotomy Corp beyond that. Because there was time where Angela was cultivating the library and getting it ready for its opening. What would be the time frame between the Smoke Wars and L Corp as a wing and an energy supplier? 10 years. It was like, I think 1,000 years in T Corp time, but it was 10 years. We know that. The Lobotomy Corporation lasted for 10 years before dissolving. There was a brief cheer, a little hurrah about regaining our colors, followed by a flat tone explanation of our current predicament, which was then followed by a long, loaded sentence, which was a sequence of events I had the pleasure of watching play out on about 10 consecutive occasions.
단테, 혼란스럽겠지만 우선 지금의 상황을 다시 한번 설명해야만 할 것 같습니다.
I'm asking because logically the time frame between these events would make no fucking sense if Gregor's 36. 37 if you count the 1 year Limbus has been going on for. No, Gregor was 35 at the start of Limbus. You minus, like 13 years, he would have been like 20 something. I think that would make sense still. Because if the war started... Here's the thing, we don't know exactly when G-Corp started developing the bug soldiers, but I think it was before the war started. I think the war was just almost a happy accident of it. Gregor was an adult while the war was going on, but he was a child when he started being experimented on. And that brings us to the present.
그러니까 지금 이 열차는 아직도 운행 중이고
우리는 어딘지도 모를 차원을.
그건 뭔가 멋있게 들리는군.
I feel like PM's failing to betray the energy shortage. Yeah, I agree. I think... Alright, listen. This is my theory. I think it's because of the Limbus company. Because here's the thing. During Ruina, all the like businesses and stuff were being like, oh my god, we're so low on energy now. But with the golden bows out and about, I'm certain those are being used as an energy font. And I'm also... Okay, listen. I'm pretty confident that Limbus company is being orchestrated by DS in some way. To all my Distortion Detective readers, I'm pretty sure of that. It would make the most sense. And knowing how many pies she has her fingers in, and also her involvement with R Corp and L Corp and the Smoke War and all of that, I wouldn't be surprised if she was somehow distributing the Enkephalon that Limbus company is producing into those companies again. I think they're still in an energy shortage. I just think it's not nearly as bad as it was during Ruina, where like R Corp was about to literally fall apart. Because like during Ruina, it was like R Corp was like, okay, they're literally defunding the fourth pack because we aren't doing enough now that we don't have the direct energy from L Corp, since one of our primary uses was aiding L Corp, particularly with our rabbits. This is our last bit of energy, better make it count, you know? But it's the same with Warp, where they were like, wow, it's good we have this deal with T Corp because we're really running low on energy here, guys. But Limbus hasn't really had that, and seeing as it's been years, I think that they've either found some other method, or they're still using Enkephalon, and DS has her name written all over it, you know? You know, I don't know what the golden bows are. Maybe they are just like valuable items. Maybe they're used to make people stronger. I don't know. Nobody knows. Probably only DS knows. And Faust. They're probably the only people who have a clue, and maybe Demian. I'm glad that you guys are genuinely enjoying me talking off the top of my head about the lore of these games. I know a lot about it, but I'm sorry, I advertised this as me playing the game.
제일 중요한 건 이 모든 상황이 벌어질 걸 파우스트.
그렇습니다.
뭐 하자는 거야, 당신?
The sinners each begin to voice their anger. Of course, this wasn't the first time Faust and Virgilius intentionally and knowingly omitted certain details about what's to come.
이게 말이 된다고 생각해? 여긴 계획이 틀어졌다고 문 열고 도망갈 수 있는 공간도 아니잖아.
문을 연다 하여도 수초 내로 몸이 산산조각 날 것이다.
그래도 파우, 앞으로 어떻게 할지 정도는 다 계획해 둔 거지? 그렇지?
Would love to hear you rant more. I'm glad. Maybe I really will have to do an art stream at some point.
그렇지?
I think an art stream would be really fun too, because I could just talk and do art and people would watch. Faust, whom I had rarely ever seen at a loss for words, was unusually slow to respond.
뭐야? 저 왜 저렇게 얼빠진 모습인데?
She gives me a sideways glance. There must be something she can't discuss in front of the sinners. Guys, let's pause for a bit. She said that something unexpected's happened. The other sinner's anger was completely understandable. It also makes sense that this continued lack of communication was harming our trust in Faust. Alright, we're going to go over the situation from the start, okay? But just letting things play out might really turn everyone against Faust, and for good. Besides, I doubt Faust woke us up in the middle of a trip just to spite us. First things first, I gotta get the sinners to calm down. Then I'll ask Faust to tell us what happened. If there's a problem, we'll figure it out and we'll deal with it as we move along. Tell us what's going on, Faust. All of it. And in a way that we can all understand. Let's hear her out first. Is that okay with you guys?
당신이 그렇게 정하셨다면요. '요. '따라가도록 할게요. 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 '따라가도록 할게
그래. 화만 내서 해결된 일이 별로 없긴 했지.
감사합니다. 그럼
After some time, the gist of Faust's explanation was as follows. The cause of this issue, as always, involved a certain contract and an unilateral decision from the higher-ups of Limbus Company. W Corp, having caught wind of Limbus Company's recent distortion contract management promotions, decided to contract us to deal with a mysterious, repeated series of incidents suspected to have been caused by a distortion, after multiple failed attempts to resolve it on their own, of course.
뒤틀림 현상 자체는 문제가 없었을 겁니다. 저희가 가진 정보와 일치한다면 워프 열차가 도착하는 대로 그 뒤틀림은 W사의 처치를 받아 승하지만
The real issue was that the passengers were disappearing.
사라진다니? 이 열차에서는 그러고 싶어도 그럴 수 없지 않은가?
그 부분을 포함하여 저희가 이유와 결과를 알아내야 하겠죠.
Did W Corp share anything to get us started?
그 점이 이번 오해를 만든 가장 중요한 부분인 것 같군요.
She explained that W Corp refused to share anything about the trains because they were concerned about disclosing the secrets of their singularity. That's probably why they sought out an upstart business like Limbus Company to deal with us, now that I think about it. We wouldn't even know where to start if we didn't have access to the information that the identity cards had to offer. Faust produced what appeared to be a key card with the W Corp logo on it before continuing with her explanation.
대신 이 동면 캡슐을 언제든지 여닫을 수 있는 마스터 의뢰를 해결하면 저희는 메피스토 팰리스에서 이야기했던 대로 동면 캡슐로 돌아가 안전하게 도착할 수 있겠죠.
날개라는 건 왜 하나같이 이 모양인 건지.
How long is this stream supposed to last? I don't know. It probably would have been done by now if I didn't keep yapping, but
정답을 찾아오라고 하는 건 적어도 T사에서는
I'll try and lock in a bit more because I don't want to be up too late either. And I'm also worried. Like, I'm sure it'll be fine if I end it before I finish this event and I just go finish the event on my own time. Because, like, again, we've all played it. We all know what's gonna happen. I'm just doing this for funsies. But I mean, I don't want to be up too long. At max, like 2 more hours at absolute max, but we'll see.
파우스트 씨도 마음 고생이 많으셨을 것 같아요.
Some sinners grew more receptive after her explanations, albeit with a sigh.
그래도 뭐가 있다는 티 정도는 내줄 수 있었을 텐데.
맞아요. 이해가 아주 안 되는 건 아니지만 파우스트 씨의 행동이 하나하나 감시당하고 있는 건 아니잖아요.
그건
But not everyone was willing to let this go without saying their piece.
다음엔 참고하도록 하죠.
And that's just about all I can do for her. It's an undeniable fact that her actions have disappointed the sinners. This is Faust we're talking about, though. I'm sure she has backups of backup plans to get us through, to get us out of this situation. I can't read. I was doing so well not messing up. But whoops.
그래, 뭐 일단 일은 벌어졌으니까 여기서 평생 썩어야 하는 상황은 피한 것 같고.
그 부분을 관리자님과 잠시 상의해 보도록 하겠습니다.
Yeah, guys, you gotta realize both Lei Hung Gaming and Lei Hung probably are both fans of the Allergy Jelly channel. All right, we gotta understand them as 2 separate entities. Discuss, but discussing things with other people is very unlike Faust. What are we discussing, Faust?
낮추는 게 좋을 것 같군요, 단테.
Why are we whispering? Her secretive attitude only exacerbated my already battered sense of safety.
제젤 샤프트 아니 파우스트가
I'm sorry, did she just say I mean in English? Hold on.
제젤 샤프트 아니 파우스트가 연결되지 않습니다.
No, I think she said whatever it is in Korean, but it just sounds exactly like I mean. You will make me activate my allergy? Come on! I was the one who purposefully was like, guys, there's a difference. Let's respect them. I gave you ibuprofen, man. I'm sorry, what?
저는 파우스트의 정보를 열람할 수가 없는 상태입니다.
And just like that, the ominous feeling I had turned out to be right. She's bilingual, huh? She's bisexual? Sometimes I love my chat. Not always, but sometimes. Oh wait, there's a clear selection button. I'm an idiot. Okay. Let's get our bonuses going. Yeah. Oh wait, he wouldn't. Is he a charge identity? Hold on, I didn't look at him. Oh wait, no, he's just bleed. He's just bleed. Oh shit, forgot about that. Hold on, I need to uptie him. Forgot that part. Don't need those. And there. Why would he ever be one? Okay, listen. All right? We've had a lot of weird charge identities lately. You want to know who's a charge bleed identity? This guy. All right? You want to know who's also a charge identity technically? This guy. All right? All right? For all I know, he'd have an effect like Gregor's bloodied hand, but it would be charge. maybe he'd be charge. What if? How can we be sure? Put regret on him. Yo, I'm glad I pulled this cool ego now, but I can't use it. I know bloodied hand is not charged. That's why I said, what if it's like bloodied hand but charged? All right, y'all need to listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Oh wow, Ishmael does not have a charge identity that has a bonus here. I didn't think about that part. I mean, I don't think it's smart to just give her charge. Probably just use this because it's good. No, it's probably a good ego loadout. You also don't have a charge identity. Or the warp identity. Guys, what if Firefist Gregor got the bonus? No! We're gonna use them anyways, but if only. Okay, so for these guys, hey, maybe just use bleed. Or like general. Gotta think. The La Mancha team? Why would I use them when I can't use Dawn? I can't use Dawn in it, and yeah. That's that. The bonus is capped at 120, is it? Does it cap? Oh wait, I'd have to click this. No, that's not what I clicked. What is it? Does it? Event bonus units. Oh, max of 120, you're right. So then I guess we could use the La Mancha team. Yeah, no, I think we could. Hold on. Gotta do some math. Yeah, oh, we definitely could. We definitely could. Never mind. Oh. We'll use her. We'll use all the blood fiends. But I also really want to use Firefist Gregor, guys. Alright, I put him in the thumbnail. How did you not know that? I don't keep track. Guys, I understand that Priest Gregor is pretty good, actually. And that we're playing with a full La Mancha team. But it would be really funny if Firefist Gregor was there, all right? I might sing a different tune when we get to Cassetti, but... So yeah, we're like more than at 120. I mean, I think we could use some other bleed units in here. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Use ring, obviously. But... So then... Yeah, and then we could also sub out Ryoshu. Question is, red eyes or contempt awe? Or red eyes for charge, I'd say. Put her back on. Also red eyes. Yeah, that's still more than enough. Give you $4 if you use Priest. I'm sorry, I think more people generally want me to use Firefest. So we're gonna use Firefest. Who else? So I mean, if our squad is... What's your passive? I feel like I haven't actually looked at it. Oh, right, it's that. Nah, I feel like it's too much of a cost, and I think this could get me a similar... Oh, no, different. Pretty different, actually. See, the issue is, Sinclair doesn't really have a good ID for backup on this. Like, none of these are particularly good for this kind of team. I think Honglu, I think if I remember correctly, Hook is increased to bleed and haste. Oh, attack power up. Defeated an enemy with bleed. It's kind of particular, or like overly specific. Maybe Fang Hunt because there are blood things and blood bags. Yeah, wait. We use him. And I think we can also use the Arcanite's ego. So... what's your passive? Yeah. Use that for the passive. So I think then if the team is... We're gonna put you on front, just for the hell of it. And then... Yeah. No, I think that's a good team. I think that's a good team for this, and that gives me the 120. 40, 80, 100, 120. I think we could also then change you for something with a better passive for this. And that better passive is just this. There. Oh, shit, wait. Better passive for Sinclair. I forgot that I was trying to think that. I mean, I guess just this. Because, I mean... it's pretty general, I guess. So yeah, there you go. That's gonna be my squad. And then we'll, you...
준비는 완료했습니다. 출발하죠.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's no, I don't think we need to, cause it's a side grade. Dimension Shredder's still really good. Yeah, Poise isn't exactly. I'm sorry, I'm like going a million miles a minute here. I just glanced back at the chat and everyone's talking about how Geppetto really wants me to put Greased? Really wants me to put Priest on the team because her mom died or something? Boo-hoo, sorry. There is something very funny about Lei Hung being like, yo, you killed your own mom? If you know, you know. Is there a better narrator we can get for this, or we're just gonna use Amiya? Because I don't have this, obviously. Yeah, we'll just use Amiya. Amiya announcer's cool, I like her.
닥쳐라, 해파. 누굴 팰진 내가 정한다.
What do you mean you
말
can't?
그대로입니다. 평상시에 얻을 수 있던 파우스트의 의견과 정보를 아무것도 얻을 수 없다는 뜻이죠.
AI summary. A person's mother who may or may not be deceased. Oh, what if everything about this situation is something you don't have access to yet, like you said last
그런
time?
가능성을 배제할 수는 없지만 그것에 대한 것도 확실하지 않습니다.
Faust's answers have always been perfectly accurate and methodical when sharing information. I don't think she's ever said a sentence that was this full of speculation and doubt. Then, Faust, right now you're...
지금은 제가 갖고 있는 지식만을 활용하고 있습니다. 원인은 알 수 없습니다. 차원간 이동에 의한 문제 대비는 충분했을 테지만 아마 파우스트는 이런 예측 불가능한 차원과의 연결까지는 상정하지 않았던 것이겠죠. 혹은 상정했다 한들 아직 교차 관측을 하지 못했을지도. 그것도 아니라면 아닙니다. 탑승 직전까지만 해도 파우스트의 연결이 끊기게 된다는 정보는 없었습니다. 솔직하게 말해 부분적인 당혹감을 느끼고 있는 상태입니다.
Alright, I get it for now. Now that changes everything. I recalled the last thing I saw before the hatch on the capsule closed when Faust told me not to worry too much. Okay, this is just a minor setback. Nothing we can't beat, right? We got this. I began to mutter like I was trying to convince myself. As the manager, my job is to calm everyone down and set their sights on the future, just as Faust did for me immediately before the hatch closed. If you're right about why you were disconnected, then that problem will solve itself once we're off the train. And if we do ever run out of options, I'll just turn the clock and see what happens. Don't stress yourself too much. We still have a lot to work with. Your knowledge, my, clock, the sinners, and, I could feel my confidence taking a hit with every word that came out of my metaphorical mouth. But that seemed to be enough for Faust. She nodded.
네, 알겠습니다. 그리고 수감자들에게는 운행 중인 워프 열차에 있다는 것만으로도 충분히 혼란스러워하는 것 같으니 구테어 파우스트의 현재 상태에 대해서는 공유하지 않는 편이 좋을 듯합니다.
뭐야? 그럼 이 열차문을 부숴도 다 뒤진다는 거야?
어휴, 그러니까 히스클리프 씨 힘으로는 부술 수도 없다니까요.
여기서 10억 년 동안
Yeah, that might be best.
그래서 이제 어떻게 하면 되는 거지? 객실을 샅샅이
Alright,
수색하거나
my name is not Kara. I get this a
그런
lot.
거야?
Something I find really fun is however people pronounce char out loud gives me a very good idea of what they think it's short for. I get char, I get shar, I get car, I get all those things, alright? Because it all depends on what you think it's short for, and a lot of people think it's short for Kara. It is not.
큰 틀에서는 맞다고 할 수 있겠네요.
Faust cleared the air with a cough before continuing.
우선 이 열차는 운행을 시작한 후 A사 표준 시간을 기준으로 3차는 림버스 컴퍼니와 W사의 계약 내용대로 캡슐에 비치된 마스터 카드 키를 획득하고 3일
3일.
눈을 감았다가 떴을 뿐인 것 같았는데 동면이란 건 이런 느낌인가 봐요.
이미 알려진 대로 일반 석칸에서 1등 석칸으로 들어올 수
I
있는
don't
경우가
remember
없기
how long I
때문에
spent on the warp train. A
이곳은
long
아무런
time.
변화가
That's the
없지만
answer.
제 추측과 W사의 부실한 설명을 합쳐보면 일반석은 이미 문제의 상황이 진행 중일 것이라고 생각됩니다.
그 뭐야? 지들끼리 치고받고 싸우다가 팔다리 뜯고 그러는 걸 말하는 거냐?
Yeah, don't you guys know? I'm just a gnome. I'm a little maid gnome.
아니겠죠. 사흘 만에 그렇게 되는 것도 쉬운 일이 아닐 뿐더러 그런 상황에 우리를 투입시키지는 않았을 테니까요.
정확합니다. 제가 생각하기에는
잠시만 기다리게.
Whisper! I love her, bro. Just as Faust was about to continue, Don Quixote raised her index finger to her lip and signaled her to be quiet.
뭔가 들리지 않는가? 흥난 아니 두드리는 소리인가? 분명 이문 너머에.
As Don Quixote kept listening with her ear to the door, an odd expression of half curiosity and half horror appeared on her face.
아무래도 저기에 무슨 파우스트군?
After that very distressful noise, everyone simultaneously turned their heads to look at Faust, who closed her eyes briefly in thought.
잠시 비켜나시죠, 동키호테. 직접 보고 대응하는 편이 나을 것 같습니다.
With that, she produced the master key card from her pocket and approached the panel installed next to the
뭐야?
door.
잠깐. 이 문 열려는 거야?
히스클리프 씨의 평소 조언을 한번 따라보려고 합니다.
You know, this begs the question: How did Yai Hyun get back here? I'm thinking about that now. They don't explain it. He just kind of gets into the first class cabin. Was that like a part of their deal with Pluto or something? I'm like thinking about that now. That's kind of strange.
고민하기보다 직접 몸으로 부딪히는 편이 때로는 더 나을 수도 있다는 거요.
조언. 틀린 말은 아니지만.
어차피 저도 직접 보지 않으면 아무것도 추론해낼 수 없을 테니까요.
After a brief mechanical beep, lovely. Hideous creatures suddenly crashed through the open door and charged wildly in our direction. Gameplay! Woo! I'm so happy to finally play the game. Ooh, let's take a look at him. Let's take a look. There he is.
즐기고 있나?
We peek.
식사는 즐기고 있나?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, actually. So I need to mention, I had heard about his kit prior to this. but I hadn't actually looked at it myself. It makes a lot of sense that he's sort of like a mini Rodian. Because, like, looking at it, Rodian's whole thing is that she's a support unit. She supports her allies. And that seems to be Merceau's in a way, too, which makes sense because he got her powers. That's cool. That's really cool, actually. What mirror world is Prince Merceau from? See, he isn't listed as the same as the other Blood Fiends, but he's from the world where Firefist offers Gregor soloed. Check his passive. He consumes 10 Blood Fiends at most. I'll give it a look. Hold on.
식사는 즐기고 있다.
Oh, that's cool. Nice. That's actually awesome. This unit has hard blood armor gained following effects. Simply just said, check how hot my PC can get, and then I saw in the corner that he booted up Uma Musume. Alright, that's really cool though. He has a really cool kit. I like that. Oh, wrong button. Yes, I did. It was Chupetta, who is in this chat right now, who messaged me on Steam, I really need to fart. It didn't show up because I don't have it set to... What the fuck? Simply, hold on. Simply has now booted up Uma Musume, Gmod, and TF2.
내가 왔나?
Oh, and he just booted up PvZ Garden Warfare. I thought that he soloed, and I thought it was really funny to think that. But no, if you go to the story, the Fang Hunt dudes are there too. So I guess he got help. But I think it's funnier to imagine that he soloed them, because I mean, look at him. It's Firefist Gregor, bro. It's like, oh right, even sleep comes from her. He's not okay. He's booted up Uma Musume, TF2, Garden Warfare, and Gmod. Thanks for flipping all tails on Lou. You just extended the length of this battle. Yeah, Fang Hunt was handling the small fry. Gregor was beating the shit out of high-ranked kindreds. Not necessarily at their prime, but not like starved either.
승객의 모습을 하고 있었지만 제대로 사리분별을 할 수 없는 이성이 존재하지 않는 자들 같아.
마치 그 고래에 의해 백화된 것처럼요.
Yeah, what she keeps sending is what she sent last was, baby, can you rip some ass for me? I really need it. So, yeah, truly harbinger of good jokes. Don Quixote, who hesitated until the last second to raise her weapon against them, hung her head mournfully. Normally, Faust would have told her more information about those monsters before the fight began. And she would not have been burdened by the sheer thought of bringing harm to the innocent. Faust began searching the area, closely observing various bodies and the general area for information.
오늘따라 주위를 많이 돌아보는구려, 파우스트 양.
I am so glad I'm using earphones! What? You don't want other people to hear me quote that? Start talking about ripping ass?
그러게요. 평소 같았으면 저희가 관찰을 하고 있을 때 결론?
The sinners were starting to realize that something was off about Faust's behavior. They might have even soon realized that there's something wrong with Faust.
돈키호테, 이들은 죽지 않았습니다. 자세히 보시죠. 파편과 파편 사이에 무언가 이어져 있지 않나요?
Yeah, dude, the sweepers are almost there. Be careful.
시간이
Make sure your door's shut, man.
그러니 죽음에 달하는 끊어짐이 발생하지 않고 이어져 있는 것이죠.
To my relief, Faust managed to correctly figure out what's going on like her usual self, even if it took her slightly longer than it usually does. Okay, Simply sent me something this time, but he sent me an image so I can't see it. And if I tab out, I mean, I guess I could tab out. I could let you guys look at our glorious sheep while I go check that message. What did he send me? Never mind. I shouldn't have checked. We're just gonna go back to this. Hey, what'd I say? We got this.
뭐라고 했어?
Oh, nothing. But I'd forgotten that not all sinners were content with nodding along to whatever information Faust told us.
시간이 멈춰 있더라.
No, I know. I was just putting the sheep up there for fun. To give you guys something to look at while I check my messages. Yi-sung grew pensive. Seeing that, Faust's lips parted for a moment before closing shut. I was starting to get a good read of her expressions. That was an unmistakable look of regret, however short-lived.
이 차원 바깥에서 바라볼 때는 멈추었다고 느낄 정도로.
Demian will not be happy. Demian was here earlier. He was delighted that I drew this wonderful sheep for him. All right? He was the one who asked, and I immediately delivered, and he loved it. Okay? So we're going to appreciate my sheep.
네, 이상 씨의 의견이 합리적이겠네요.
파우스트 씨가 틀린 적도 있으셨나요?
Wow, Yi-sung sure is an expert when it comes to time-related phenomena. Can you summarize it in easier language now that we're broaching the subject?
그래도 되겠는가?
Yi-sung began to elaborate with gentle enthusiasm. That was close.
간단히 풀어 말하면
His little
이
smile.
열차에는 죽음이 존재하지 않소.
He's so excited to be useful.
너무 생략한 것 같은데.
아, 말을 얹자면
정말이군. 이자 심장이 뛰고 있네.
Can you put the sheep on the stream overlay? No, because it's funnier if I randomly bust it out at points. All right, we've already got the Tron Ares poster, Heathcliff telling me my time is up, and me saying that I'm gonna lose gallons. I feel like if we put the sheep there too, it's a little too much, and it's also just really funny to bring the sheep out at random points. Don Quixote lowered her head and listened closely to what appeared to be a dismembered torso, and shouts with relief.
이들은 퍼즐 조각이 여러 개로 나뉜 것처럼 단지 활동할 수 없는 상태로 나뒹굴고 있을 뿐이요. 몸이 분리된다는 과정은 진행되었지만 이 열차의 존재는 보존되고 한없이 유예되므로 그저 한없이 가늘어져도 끊어지지는 않는 생명만을 붙든 채 이리 널브러질 뿐이지.
어려운 말은 잘 모르겠지만 아무튼 죽지는 않은 것이군.
이들의 파편이 연결되어 있다는 것은 아무리 뒤섞여 있어도 결국 파편끼리의 실타래를 따라 모아 자연스럽게 W4의 정리요원이라는 직책이 생긴 이유를 추론
누군가는 이 퍼즐들을 조립해서 구별해둘 필요가 있을 테니.
It's really baffling to me, like a job like that even exists.
날개에 사는 일치고 심하지 않은 게 어디 있겠어?
Still, I guess that means that as long as the train arrives at the station, the passengers will all be put back together like nothing happened. From what I learned through W Corp identities, their main job was to gather chunks of flesh together and bring them back to their original shapes before they boarded the trains. It's a lot more visceral when I have to look at it in person.
그거 듣던 중 다행이군.
What do you mean human milk sourced from Faust? No! Yeah, no, Blood Fiend Merceau is awesome. I'm already in awe, alright? I'm already losing gallons, bruh. I'm losing gallons. I definitely think he'd be a soy boy, but apart from that, he would like coconut milk. I feel like he'd be like, ah, yes. The unique exotic flavors of it truly do tickle my taste buds. He'd say it like that. It soon clicked in me what Faust was, though with some awkward effort, trying to do as I watched Don Quixote sigh with relief. Maybe Faust was trying to cheer Don Quixote up in her own way. Who she was a while ago would not even find it necessary to do something like that. Huh? What's up? Oh, time to whisper, right?
네, 정보를 수집 중입니다.
Had to slip that in, see if anyone would notice. Well, if there's anything I can tell you... Faust cast a dark gaze towards the chunk of flesh. Her gaze remained fixed upon them as she whispered.
이들이 뒤틀림인지 혹은 환상체인지.
Oh, yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about that. They weren't humans, that was for sure. From them, I felt the same sensation as I felt from monsters. Something inexplicable, an unclear sensation or an aura. I've felt this somewhere before, I'm sure of it, but I couldn't quite pinpoint the source of this sensation. One thing I do know for sure is that this sensation was not the same feeling I got from abnormalities, distortions, or even the Pekachula. If I had to lean one way or another, I'd say they're closer to distortions. I'm sorry, I don't think they're either of those.
확신할 수 없는 건가요?
This is just the chance for Dark Souls is my city to spread the word that they're Argentinian, I swear. Again, I'm not sure how I can explain this, but they're very, very similar to distortions, but also different. If you had to ask, then I'm gonna guess Faust doesn't know.
파우스트라면 알고 있을 수도 있겠지만 적어도 지금의 저는 알 수 없군요.
Yeah, Blood Fiend's... the original, like, Blood Fiend gene or whatever is most likely from the river, yeah. And I also, like I said earlier, I think the cure is also found in the river. I mean... I know Dawn used it to wipe her memories first and foremost, but I feel like Rocinante couldn't have done all that on its own, you know? I don't think literally all of her memories and powers and everything are all being stored in Rocinante like that. Because when the shoes come off, she has her memories back. So that would mean that the river wasn't exactly... I'm explaining this really badly. Can Blood Fiends distort? Yes. Elena distorts in Library of Runa, and Elena is a Blood Fiend. Elena also existed before the distortion phenomenon existed. What's the best ID to date? Malfaust.
그러실 필요는
It's
없습니다.
Malfaust.
한테. 불확실한 정보지만 그 덕에 한 가지 추론에 도달할 수 있었기 때문에 그리고 직접 정보를 수집하며 논리적 결론을 만들어내는 것도 예상보다.
She paused, holding a bloody, slimy chunk of flesh in her hands.
쟤 지금 살 좀 조각 들고 혼자 무슨 거야?
I forgot about most of these little jokes.
드디어 각성한 것인가?
The awakening has begun. Yes, like I said earlier,
행진을
blood fiends are
멈추지
not
마.
distortions, but
이
distortions
좁기
can
좁은
be blood
왕국을
fiends.
넘어 멸망한 그 땅으로 돌아갈 때까지
And blood fiends can distort.
저들이 우리의 모습을
You can distort into a blood fiend, and you as a blood fiend can distort, but not all blood fiends are distortions. Rocinante could be one of those weird outskirts artifacts. No, it is not. And the reason why I say it is not is because it's pretty heavily implied that in the one scene where Sancho's like, oh, I gotta ask for some sort of payment. Give me those old running shoes you have. It's pretty heavily implied that that was what Rocinante was put into, so. I think it was literally just an average pair of running shoes that she took from that one villager, and then Don Quixote put Rocinante into them. That would be my reading of it, of course. Maybe it is some outskirts artifact like the helm is, but who knows? Even the helm wasn't really an outskirts artifact. They basically got swindled about it. God, do we even read more? It's been 3 hours. I'm sure that's like baby numbers for people who stream regularly, but I don't stream regularly. It's past Mima's bedtime, guys. Well, we'll read one more at least. After a round of intelligence gathering from Faust, we opened the door to the next cabin, only to be greeted by a loud commotion.
저희 외에도 생존자들이 있는 모양이네요.
위험에 빠진 승객들인가 보군. 이 몸이 구해주게!
와, 함부로 들어오지 마. 너희 뭔데?
A four-armed woman suddenly jumped in our path.
갑작스럽게 튀어나오는군요.
Faust stumbled a little, inadvertently slapped by the figure's swinging arms as she pushed us away.
내 쪽에서도 당신들이 갑자기 튀어나온 거거든.
좀 위협적이니까 그 커다란 칼은 치워주면 안 되나?
Yes, Papa Don did create Rocinante. Rocinante was a large coagulation of his power and blood in form of horse. And then he put it into those running shoes in order to give Sancho his powers so that she could go survive. That's also, I think, why the shoes forced her to run away, because he inadvertently had control over them in that moment. So. And then I guess Bari helped her get Sworden in the lighthouse. The horse was real? Yeah. Dude, we saw the horse. It's just a big old horse made of blood. It showed up for like 1 frame.
위협은 무슨 위협? 저기 저 사람들 지키려고 들고 있는 건데? 뭐야? 요새도 그런 구식 생체형을 달고 다니나? 나 참.
아이씨, 구식의 때론 제일 빛을 발할 수 있다는 걸.
그대 복식을 보아하니 북부의 사람인 게로군.
아이, 이 와중에 무슨 오타령이야! 아무튼 이쪽이나 그쪽이나 같이 사고에 휘말린 상태 같아 보이는데 비켜주지?
She seemed to be sizing us up for a moment.
너희를 뭘 믿고 이 안으로 보내줘? 안 물렸다는 증거 있어? 내가 이곳을 어떻게 지키고 있었는데?
물렸다니 뭔 소리야?
왜 아무것도 모른다는 표정이지? 일반실에 있었으면 잠깐. 너희 1등석에서 왔어? 네. 캡슐에서 방금 깨어난 상태였어요. 보기에는 1등석이라. 진작 말하지.
I know it's like a very simple note, but I like her little mumbling. It feels very like, not exactly true to life, but it feels very well done in terms of acting.
내 이름은 사샤.
Like little things like that, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that, you know, it'd be a good idea to write that in or act that in that way or whatever, but I like little things like that. I'm wording this really badly because I'm starting to get really tired. With that, she lowered her weapons and allowed us to pass.
사샤, 당신도 이 객실에 계속 계셨던 건가요?
뭐 그렇지. 우리 해결사 사무소에 T사 쪽 의뢰가 들어와서 잠깐 넘어왔는데 열차가 이딴 식으로 고장난 데다 아니 고장난 게 맞나? 배고파지지도 않고 졸리다는 느낌도 잘 안 드는 것 같고 이거 좀
일체인데도 그런 게 느껴지셨나요?
아, 먹고 자는 게 취미라 그쪽은 특별히 신경 쓴 부품이거든. 잘 느껴지지?
그것보다 그 밖에도 일어난 일이 있지 않나요?
아 그래 완전히 난리도 아니었다고.
정신 사납군. 출삭되지 않고 말할 수는 없나?
팔이라도 덜 휘적거리면 좋겠는데. 그건 좀 싸우다가 의원이 전부 부서졌거든.
I wouldn't say Rocinante is the worst horse. I'm sure there are worse ones. But Dolahan is the goat. Isn't Wild Hunt Heathcliff's Dolahan a wolf instead of a horse? I want to say no, but now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't looked at it close enough. Earl King 100% has a horse, but I haven't, like, stared at Dolahan's feet long enough. I don't look at Dolahan's feet. That's not, like, the first thing on my mind, so I never noticed if they were hooves or paws. I don't know. I just thought he was a horse. Yes, Gregor is best horse. Thank you. I can't believe I forgot that one.
아무튼 뭔 일인지는 모르겠는데 갑자기 열차에 탄 승객.
Wait, yeah, Uma Virgilia and Uma Song. You guys are forgetting so many great horses.
정체도 모르겠고 말도 안 통한다고.
And I guess Wei as well. Yeah, Wei. Wei is a great horse.
다행히 나랑 저 사람들이 타 있던 칸은 괴물이 적게 나타나서 내가 몇 동강을 내버리고 여기 빨간색이 3200.
저 승객들이 변해버릴 수도 있는데도 불구하고
Wild Hunt is a big wolf. I never noticed.
그거야 당연한 행동이지.
Wait, I'm gonna Google that sprite real quick. Hold on, I need to see this now.
보호하는 존재들이니.
Oh my god, yeah! Yeah, it has paws. It's a wolf. I thought it was a horse. I genuinely never noticed that. I just always kind of assumed it was a horse like the main timeline one was. That's awesome, actually. I still need to know, like, what Dolahan is. We haven't necessarily really learned. You want to know what Dolahan should have been? All right, where's the timeline where Dolahan is a sheep? All right? Where's that timeline? Are we gonna learn? Just saying.
나는 이미 승객들을 사흘 동안 지켜봤어. 그리고 지금껏 한 명도 변하지 않아.
Yeah, you guys are now realizing how observant I am. I notice a lot of very weird small things, and then I miss a lot of really obvious small things.
지금 이 객실칸 너머는 죄다 지옥도가 펼쳐져 있는데 앞쪽으로 끊임없이 넘어오려고 하는 걸 보면 뒤에서부터 뭔 일이 벌어져서 앞으로 번졌다는 게 내 추측이야.
그렇군요.
내 이야기는 여기까지. 그래서 너희는 뭔데? 1등석 부자분들께서 어떤 연유로 이런 서민들이 있는 곳까지 행차야? 여기서 뭔 일이 벌어진다는들 당신들의 고급스런 1등석 칸에는 아무도 들어.
저희는 W4에서 이번 사건을 해결하기 위해 고용한
해결사.
네, 해결사입니다.
Faust nodded reluctantly as she affirmed Don Quixote's boisterous declaration. I don't know. That's a word I really struggle to say. I think everyone's got that one word that they just really struggle to say, and mine is a declaration. I have to say it like really slow. Declaration. Because otherwise I'll say like decoration. That's my word. That is my word that I really struggle to say.
그 인원을 전부 1등석에? 그쪽 사무소는 돈이 썩어나나 보구만. 아니지, 잠깐. 그럼 W사는 처음부터 이렇게 될 걸 알고 있었다는 건가? 근데 진짜 날개의 의뢰를 받은 거 맞아?
이미 잘 아시겠지만 해결사들 간의 가장 중요한 건 계약과 그 이행이죠. 그리고 W사는 다른 날개들 이상으로 보안을 중시하고 있고요.
아, 비밀 유지 서약을 했나 보군. 뭐 웨어피 협회 계열이랑 얽히면 골치 아프니까. 그래서 증거는 없다.
W사에서 사전에 받은 마스터 카드 키입니다. 어지간한 문은 열 수 있죠.
Oh wait, that's a cool theory actually. That he was one of Edgar's watchdogs. That makes sense. He reanimated it as his Steve. Yeah, that also explained why he's different in different timelines. I mean, okay, I'm about to get crazy with this, but then I think the thematic reasoning for why Dullahan is a horse. Hold on. I have to stop my book explanation because Dark Souls is my city. Give me 314 Argentinian pesos because it is 3:14 a.m. Pray for them, wish them luck. The sweepers are coming. But anyways, I think that if the idea is that Wild Hunt, not Earl King, but Wild Hunt reanimated one of Gregor Edgar's dogs, then maybe what it is in the main timeline with Earl King is, and the best way I can put this is, it's probably a reference to when he runs away with Isabella. Because, like, I think that there are several inciting incidents you can point to in that book, but one of the really big ones of when, like, he stops being sort of in the background about his schemes and more, like, in your face about it, is when he steals one of Edgar's horses and runs away with Isabella. So I think it could be a reference to that, thematically. You know? That's why it's a horse in the main timeline. It's Henley's horse? I don't even think Henley ever mentioned having a horse in Limbus, if I'm being honest. I mean, maybe he did. It's been a while since I've read Canto 6. Maybe I'll go back one of these days, look at it, and reevaluate what I think about Earl King in general and Dullahan specifically. But that was my immediate thought that it could be a reference to that in the book and sort of like a thematic parallel. Faust produced a master key card from her pocket. I guess there isn't any other way for us to prove that we're actually contracted by W Corp.
카드 키? 이걸로 잠겨있던 1등석 통로를 열고 W사 로고의 꽤 고급 재질. 진짜 의뢰를 받았나 봐.
I mean, yeah, generally in the book, he's mostly associated with dogs, but he is also associated with horses, yeah. More particularly, like, in his very, very younger years, as described by Nellie, when he's an adult, he's more associated with dogs and wolves. So it could just, you know, in general be thematic to the book. But again, that was just my instant thought. I'm not saying that that's, like, what it is, or even what I think, but that was just my first instinct. Yeah, I know about him having a horse in the book, but in Limbus it's never stated or anything. Frankly, it's never stated that the Edgar family has any horses either, so I'm kind of balling here. But I was thinking somewhat, it could also be a literary allusion to Henley's horse, but I was thinking more so in my head it was probably to Edgar's horse. More specifically, because the two Earl Kings we see are manifested from the bodies of the two Edgars. So, that's why I went to Edgar. What fucking animals? Heathcliff Discourse number 6000. We're still in part 1 of the Inner Follow. These bastards keep getting me off track.
좋아, 따져 묻진 않을게. 돈도 안 되는 일에 연루되고 싶은 마음도 없고. 일을 해결하려면 뒤로 가겠다는 거네.
그렇죠.
The fixer finally got out of our way, then with one of her free hands, pointed towards the opposite door.
죽으러 가겠다는데 말릴 필요도 없지. 아니면 뭐 실력이 대단하면 다 구해서.
What if Edgar was the horse?
경력 고맙네, 해결사 사샤요. 이곳은 자네에게 맡길 테니 부디 본인을 대신해서 이들을 무사히 지켜내시게.
Listen, he's just in general associated with several animals in that book. That is just the general theming of the book.
저기 이 뒤에 있는 괴물들을 처리해주러 가시는 건가요?
The fault lies with you for having such interesting opinions. I'm glad someone finds them interesting. Edgar Heathcliff horse Yowie. Where's the my horse boyfriend image? Wait. Go back, that little sound. Oh. I love that. Just as we were about to reach the other end of the car, a little passenger pulled on Don Quixote's coattails.
그렇단다.
우와, 그럼 언니는 유명한 해결사예요?
그렇지. 본인은 명망 높은 해결사 라네.
Because of that creepy Japanese tweet, what do I want to know? I've never heard of this before. I don't use Twitter. What do you mean creepy Japanese tweet? Do I want to know?
저도 언니처럼 해결사.
예, 너무 치근덕대.
It's like Uma Musume for cishet men. I'm sorry, Uma Musume is Uma Musume for cishet men.
아닐세. 괜찮네. 더 놔둬도 되는데. 해결사가 꿈인가 보구나.
당신 같은 자가 열차에 탑승하고 있어서 다행이긴 하군요.
That's so ominous, Faust. I'm sorry.
무슨 말이야? 다들 왜 이래? 같은 바닥 처지끼리. 당연히 머릿수대로 긴급 보호비를 거두려는 거지. 왜 자꾸 둘 다 똥짠지 같은 소리야?
I don't think Don Quixote needs to hear what she just said.
파우스트 씨, 다시 봤어요.
무엇을 말씀이시죠?
일부러 그런 거였죠? 저자가 순수한 마음으로 승객들을 보호할 마음은 없었다는 거. 또다시 시끄러워지면 골치 아프겠다 싶었는데 보셨어요? 눈이 얼마나 반짝거리던지. 평소에도 그랬지만 오늘은
Faust strode towards Sasha with a question.
마지막으로 하나.
질문 하나당 30만 원.
같은 바닥 처지끼리. 그럼 저희 쪽 의료가 성공하고 나면 추후에 W사에 적극적인 협력 사무소가 있었다고.
뭐야? 진짜? 무슨 질문인데?
혹시 상대하셨던 괴물들의 눈빛이 모두 붉지는 않던가요?
Yeah, see, this person's got it right. Uma Musume is raising a daughter simulator. Cishet men all have the instinct to raise a daughter. All right? I'm a cis woman and I have an instinct to raise my stupid horse children, all right? I think we all have it. I think we all just like seeing our dumb horse children prosper. All right, bye, Simply. Have a good night. Sasha paused her swinging arms for a moment upon hearing that question, appearing to either be in thought or trying to recall something, then answered.
글쎄, 온통 붉은색인 괴물이긴 했는데 음색이 중요한가? 일단 내 의안도 빨간색이고 저 승객도 눈이 적색이었고 이런 게 돈 되는 중요한 정보라도 되나?
아니요, 별것 아니었습니다.
You know, honestly, in retrospect, that's a really good little detail. Like, I don't mean in the fact that she has red eyes, no shit. But like, the fact that she specifically says it's a prosthetic, she could have easily, it would have even been more believable if she like, just didn't even mention her eye. Because red eyes are pretty common in the city, generally. But what I really think about is, we specifically see with ArcCorp that there are high quality, extremely expensive prosthetic eyes that are red. And we don't exactly know the details of them other than that they make you, like, more able to observe the movements of your opponent. Whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. I don't know. Maybe you see them like in Cyberpunk when someone's using a Sandy, you know? Maybe it's like that. I don't know. But I think that's a really interesting detail because it implies that almost... I don't want to say that she has a sense of grandeur towards herself, like she can get away with that lie, or that her first instinct was to think of almost such a preposterous lie. Because if you know anything about prosthetics in the city, you would know that red eye prosthetics are really particular like that, so. The tweet. Oh goodness. I don't think I want to look into that. It seems scary. We just know it's somewhere in the north. We don't really know beyond that. Yeah, that is true. Sasha was like, oh yeah, I made sure to get expensive prosthetics so that I could eat and take naps, which, like, same girl, but... I still think it's just a really interesting detail. Like, I don't know if it was meant to imply anything in particular about her, but it makes me think. It makes the cogs in my dumb little smooth brain go and spin. Faust nodded lightly in her direction, then opened the door to the next car. It was just as we had feared. The scene appeared before us like it came straight out of some sort of hell screen. Yeah, no, plenty of people have, like, anime-colored hair and weird genetic eyes in this world. Like, generally, 9 times out of 10, people have the same, like, I guess, genetic appearances as humans in our world do. But there are plenty of people with, like, multicolored hairs and stuff that don't seem to have dyed them. Like, Bari just has blue hair and pronouns. I don't think she's, like, dyeing it or anything. Guys, do we play the hell screen chapter or do we end it here? Cause I mean, we've been going for a good while. It's been over 3 hours. I'm trying to think. I mean, I glance at the stream analytics, and I immediately see that we're at an uptick of people watching the stream. So it'd probably be a very dumbass move for me to end it here. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm tired, boss. Well, we'll do one more. We're at an uptick in viewers. I might as well. It's not by much, but still. It's more than it was earlier. And it just ticked up a bit more, all right? Whoever just joined, thank you. You're the reason why I'm not going to sleep. Ugh. Got like a sticky trackpad today.
떨거지면 잘라낸다.
Dude, high key, yeah, send me your horse pictures. I actually love horses. Stagnant 33. Yeah, but earlier it was at 26 for like a while, so. I'll take this as a big step up. Yeah, and non-binary. Come on, we don't disqualify anyone here. A lot of people think I'm non-binary, which I'm not, but I appreciate the sentiment. like I get that a lot. A lot of people online, and I think it's simply because I don't know. Maybe it's because we are just a lot more conscientious of people's identities these days, or maybe it's something to do with women on the internet. But a lot of people do like not assume my gender, and in a way I appreciate it, even though like your assumption is right, I'm a woman, but I like appreciate it in this sort of like backhanded way, you know? Like, it's not me it's benefiting, but it's nice to see people be so considerate. It's like, it's a small thing, but it's just being considerate. And I think that's lovely, honestly.
敵に対して大きな打撃を与えました。
폭죽
中
소리가
心の
들리는
皆
것
さんの状
같군.
態に何か変化
때가
が。
왔나.
I'm gonna go eat my other half of the Subway sandwich from the fridge. I have a story. I have a work story, and I still get pissed off about this, okay? One time, I got a spicy Italian from Subway. Yeah, I was eating good. And the thing is, I work overnights at this job. So by the time that it was like my lunch break, there wouldn't be anywhere I could eat. So I would have to brown bag it. And that day, I brought my other half of my Subway footlong. All right, I ate the first half before my shift, and I was saving the other half for my break, and I was so excited. And I go down there, and by the way, I wrote my name on that sandwich, and I was the only person with my name in the business, okay? The only person who worked there who has my name. So whoever grabbed the Subway sandwich that said char on it, all right, that wasn't your fucking sandwich. I'm still angry about that. Someone ate my sandwich. Someone took it out of the employee fridge and ate it and thought I wouldn't notice, all right? I'm mad about that. That was like 4 or 5 months ago. I'm still mad about it. We aren't friends on Discord. You've sent me messages before. I'll friend you after this.
가족이 되게 약하군.
Include this Subway rant in the Tron video. They need to hear about this.
행진을 멈추지 마라. 이 좁디 좁은 왕국을
I think this one's also another
명망한 그 땅으로
pure
돌아갈 때까지
combat chapter?
보아라.
I don't remember how you tell. I don't think you can tell now. Because this is a story and combat. This is just combat. Is there a difference? Let's see. Maybe this was just combat and I'm gaslighting myself. No, it's story and combat. God. Do we gamble? Do we keep going? You know what? Actually, let's actually gamble, okay? I think we earned ourselves another 10 pull. I was thinking of just waiting till next week and sharding for Heathcliff, but we've had fun tonight, okay? I'll reward you guys with a little more gambling. Just a little. And we didn't get anything, so I don't know why I rewarded you guys. You guys deserve nothing.
불빛 하나 없이.
I mean, let's be real. I'm gonna be so upfront. I'm gonna finish the book act on my own time. I'm not gonna do another stream to finish it because, if I'm being frank, we weren't here to watch me play the bulk act. We don't care about the story. I said it before, but we all know what happens. We've already all played it. The real reason why we're all here tonight and why you guys kept getting me off track was to hear my funny rambles. And I can do that no matter what I'm doing. Like I said, I bought an HDMI cord to maybe do art streams at some point. So look forward to that potentially. I guess as like a last thing, I have been working on the video again. It's been really, really slow for a few reasons. And I don't want to just like stand up and make a ton of excuses. I'll be fully blunt here and say it is part of me being lazy. It is me like sitting down, editing like 5 seconds and then being like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. But it is primarily beyond my, shut up, Ishmael, shut up! Anyways, it is beyond that. Me, you know, my laptop broke, and along with that, I've been having issues with Adobe recently. After this video is done, I think I'm just gonna switch editing softwares again. When I started YouTube, I used OpenShot, and then at the Earl King video, and that's why there was kind of like a big increase in editing quality. At the Earl King video, I switched to Premiere. I am so sick and tired of Premiere. It's not even funny. So I think after this, I'm gonna switch to DaVinci, because I hear really good things about DaVinci. Oh, I'm pretty sure I will stream myself doing Railway 1 though. I think that's just such a fun thing. The Railway 1 bulk act. I think that'll just be so much fun to stream in particular. But no part 2 for this specifically, but I do want to try and stream more. Like I mean, I'm gonna be upfront again. I do not make nearly as much money off of streams as I do videos. I just think they're kind of fun to do. You know? It's fun to sometimes just sit down, spill my guts in a way that I don't regularly in my videos. Because I always have to stick to a topic in my videos. Even when I purposefully ramble in them and I bring in like subplots for videos, so to speak, I don't necessarily just get to sit here and start talking about this game's lore like I do. You know, especially because I mostly just talk about gameplay and not story. But yeah, that's the stream. That is the stream. We went for over 3 hours. I'm satisfied. I hope you all are satisfied. I'm sorry that we barely did anything and it was mostly just me talking, but hey, maybe you found me talking really entertaining, and if you didn't, I don't understand why you're here watching this stream anyways, because you can get the exact same experience from playing the game yourself. So, yeah. Just gonna close the game and look at my lovely layout one last time. Take a picture, it'll last longer. And that's the end.